But the referee and his staff are just making their way out. I see I'm a little bit confused because that's not Willie Collum that's come out. That looks like Don Robertson who has come out. There must have been an issue for Willie Collum, and I think they've changed it. So Willie Collum was down as the referee, but it's Don Robertson who is actually the referee, and presumably Willie Collum, who is here, is the fourth official down there. There he is, indeed. So it's Don Robertson who is in charge of this one this afternoon. Down to our left and to our right, the players go off.
I thought Willie had a good warm-up as well. I can't believe he's been subbed already, Richard.
There you go. So, yeah, Willie Collum, fourth official down there. And the other officials, the three who will be taking charge, are out in the park with the two sets of players. The handshake's taking place. The red, white and blue players, the smoke off to our left. The green and white off to our right. Hopefully that'll clear pretty quickly. And we'll get things up and running for the second of the Scottish Cup semi-finals for this season. Cali Thistle are lying her weight. Will it be Celtic? Will it be Rangers? More to come from Willie Miller and Tom English. Right now, full live commentary with Pat Bonner, Neil McCann and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, just to clear that official situation up, Willie Collum has a calf strain which he picked up in the warm-up, so he will take charge of duties between the managers as fourth official, and Don Robertson switches to the man in the middle. Unexpected starting role for Mr. Robertson. He knows the game well. He's a former player himself, is Don Robertson. Just about ready to go here. Ferocious, furious, fierce, it'll be all of those. It always is. As the smoke bellows from both ends of the stadium. Red, white and blue to the left, green and white to the right. The Celtic players go into their huddle under the clouds here in Glasgow. And the second of the Scottish Cup semi-finals is just about upon us. The Celtic players are in their huddle just now. If they're able to make out what each of them is saying, they'll be doing well amidst the din as they break out from that now. It's going to be Rangers who are going to kick off. I hope there'll be plenty of the ball in the half to our right just now, because we cannot see the pitch at all.
There's no one down there, Liam.
No, this could be hanging around.
That's coming our way, by the way.
Deep breaths. For Rangers in goal, it's McGregor, it's Tavernier, Goldson, Davis and Barisic, Lundstrom and Raskan sitting, Tillman, Kent and Cantwell supporting Morelos. For Celtic, Hart in goal, Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatate, Jota and Maida either side of Kyogo Furuhashi. I have to say there has to be a delay to kick off here because of the television cameras cannot see the pitch either, so they're going to have to perhaps delay for a minute or so until this smoke is cleared. We cannot see a thing on the pitch now, apart from Joe Hart's penalty area off to our right. So, if you want to fill this gap, Packy, with your predictions for the game, that would do nicely.
Prediction, you don't make predictions for these games, Liam. But if we could see the game, we might be able to commentate on it. And there's no one, as we said earlier, and it's absolutely, I've never seen this before, Neil. The game would be held up because of the smoke from those pyrotechnics. Oh my God.
It's pretty overwhelming, isn't it? It's just reached the media gantry now, and we're up high in the south stand. These were pyrotechnics that went off at both ends of the stadium just a minute ago. They have delayed the kickoff, so until this is clear, there'll be no action. That's for sure, and these two fighting for the right to take on Inverness Cali Thistle.
That's not fair on the players either, to be fair. You know, that's the other point. Both sets of players have come out, they're G'd up, they're ready to get on with the action. They've got to stand around for the next couple of minutes, hoping that this is going to clear away, and it's gradually going, but that's not good on the players.
Listen, I think it just revs the engine a wee bit more. It's just it put the holding you back, you know, just wanting to get it going. It will be Rangers that will start us, but when it finally clears, which I don't think we're too far away from.
Well, we're 3 minutes beyond the official kick-off time. It is beginning to clear now. It's cleared sufficiently, and Don Robertson gets the game underway with the first whistle, and Ryan Kent passes it back the way to Ben Davis. Long ball which Celtic head clear. It's picked up by Cantwell. Works a 1-2 with Tavernier down this near side as Rangers look to start brightly. Tillman challenged, and it breaks to the edge of the penalty area. Raskan shoots, and Joe Hart dives to his left. to put it behind for the corner. It's Rangers with the first flash of life inside the first 20 seconds. 0-0, Rangers corner.
Yeah, really great start from Rangers. Positive down the right side. Cantwell, lovely little ball, back heeled from Tillman. It falls to Raskin. He catches it well, but it's a good block from Carter Vickers. I'm not quite sure what Joe Hart's view of that would have been with the smoke that's coming, but he made a fine stop.
Right start by Rangers, short corner by Barisic. They attack the east end, off to her right, back to Barisic. Swings the ball in, headed half away by Celtic, picked up at the back end of the box by Morelos. Passing it back to Tavernier, under pressure from Maida over there on the far side. And it goes out of play off the Rangers man last for a Celtic throw-in, which they've taken quickly as Maida's robbed by Cantwell over on the far side, and he returns it to Alan McGregor. He gets his first feel of the ball, little dink onto the chest of Goldson, not sure that's what he intended. He gets it back and boots it forward with the right foot into the Celtic half, but it comes off the head of Johnston and out for a throw-in on the far side into the second minute. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Rangers with the first chance of the game.
I'm just watching, sorry Pat, just before we come in there, I'm just watching what Rangers are doing with their shape, and I know Raskin has just changed with Lundstrom there. I'm not sure if it's a 4-3-3 with Cantwell sort of playing to the right of Raskin, Lundstrom to the left. Heavy challenge from
Foul
Lundstrom
over there on the far side. I think it's Lundstrom who was the offender, and
smashed
he
through
smashed
Kyogo.
into Kyogo, over on the far side, just inside Celtic territory. And Don Robertson's going to have to sort this out. Of course, it doesn't take much to light the blue touch paper in this fixture at the best of times. But when you consider what's on the line this afternoon, the stakes are massive.
The stakes and early bookings is massive also. And Lundstrom that time, he got the ball, of course, but he went right through Kyogo and left something on him. Kyogo's up and he's active again, as we would expect, but it's a heavy tackle. Lucky to get away with it, I think, maybe early on.
It was, of course, Rangers who came out on top in the semis last season, took extra time to do it. They came from behind to do it as well, before going on to lift the cup against Hearts in the final. Both the semi and final for Rangers went to extra time last season. The Starfelt OG that did the damage as Tillman prods it forward. He's not going to find Kent. Hart comes to the edge of his box and clears with the right foot out to this near side, and Tavernier let it go out for a throw-in for Rangers on this near side. 3-0, Packy.
Yeah, it was an aggressive start from Rangers. They had the kick off, of course, and they exploited that, getting the ball into the Celtic half. They created that early chance, and they put the tackles in early. And I expected that from Rangers early on in this game, to see can they upset Celtic's rhythm.
Celtic with Johnston, rolls it low out to Jota on the far side. He was on the score sheet when these two last met in that league game a few weeks ago. Carter Vickers gets it from Hart inside his own box under pressure from Kent, manages to squeeze it out to Johnston as Cantwell slides in and puts it out for a throw-in. Undoubtedly Rangers are trying to press Celtic. It's a difficult thing to do that for 90 minutes, maybe even 120, but that's clearly what they've set their stall out to do.
Yeah, I thought they would have to do that. I think Callum McGregor is the key that Celtic always look to build out of. I'm watching who's going to be sitting on top. Looks at Tillman just now, but I mean, they're not shirking the responsibilities of getting high and getting aggressive. If Celtic can go by the press, then there's plenty of space in the wide areas, but just now Rangers have had a very, very good start to the match.
Yeah, that was a feature, I think, of the last game also. They tried to press earlier, but the problem was maintaining that press, and you're right, if Celtic play around the press or through the press, there's always a chance then they're exploited higher up the pitch.
Connor Goldson clears it up towards halfway, bouncing ball. It's won by Starfelt, claims he was fouled by Morelos. No free kick, and it's Todd Cantwell over on the near side who flicks it back to Tavernier. And he steps inside, midway inside his own half before rolling it back to Goldson. How happy will he be to have his number 6 beside him again as Lundstrom clears, looking for Kent. He'll chase it down. Hart comes a long way from home to clear with the right foot. Up into the air it goes. And it drops down onto the head of Ben Davis, who heads it into the Celtic half for Carter Vickers to head it back onto halfway. John Lundstrom takes it down and finds Tavernier. Almost 5 in, 0-0. Lundstrom rolls it to Morelos on this right-hand side. He played a lot of the game at Pittodrie last week over on this right flank. It was Sakala who went through the middle. It's Tillman right now. So it comes back to Lundstrom.
It's good play.
He switches the play out to Barisic.
It's good play, Liam, but there's a lack of threat for me in behind with Rangers. Kent is the one with the pace, and it looks like Alistair Johnson's got that pace matched.
Brilliant from Kyogo. He's found Maida as well, and he won it back. Maida's touch is poor, and it takes it right through to Alan McGregor. But that shows you a little Error on the far side. I say error, he was had the ball taken off him there. The Rascan just wanted too long on it, but it was almost one ball from Kyogo into Maida, and Celtic were nearly in for their first chance of this semi. Rangers come up the other end. Barisic with a cross, Hart with a diving two-punch clearance as Lundstrom takes it down, controlling on the knee and rolling it out to the left touchline for Rascan, who goes back to Lundstrom. For many felt in the Rangers support that Nicholas Rascan should have started that League Cup final here back in February. He does start this one. He came on after the hour mark that afternoon as Barisic turns it back to John Lundstrom, who finds Goldson midway inside his own half. Scoreless, 6 minutes in. They've met 8 times here at Hampden over the last decade. Celtic have won 6 of them to Rangers 2. One of those was the semis last season for Rangers, though one of the 2, the other when Tom Rogic skied that penalty in the shootout. As Tavernier finds Lundstrom, that of course was also at the semi-final stage. So Lundstrom goes back to Goldson, and he goes back to Alan McGregor, who plays this fixture for the 41st time today. Ben Davis under pressure from Jota, puts it into touch on the far side, and that is the kind of thing that can affect you as a team when you start making mistakes like that, and you don't want to be making mistakes like that, or offering this Celtic side any kind of encouragement, as Callum McGregor picks up in the midfield and finds Taylor in the centre circle, and he'll move it back to Carter Vickers. 0-0.
Yeah, it's been a good start from Rangers, though. They controlled the start of this game, but you can see how Celtic strikers not alone are very good technical players, but they close you down very, very well with a bit of pace, and that's where Rangers have got to be very, very careful that they don't make a silly mistake by trying to control the game by passing it across the back or so on. They've got to be very sure in those passes. There we go again.
Yeah, Celtic pressing, trying to win it back. Rascan gets there just a time ahead of Jota. Johnston picks up in the centre circle and goes back to Starfelt, who rolls it out to the left touchline for Taylor. First time passing it forward to O'Reilly. A lovely spin away from Tillman. Looks up, looks to slip it in behind Goldson for Maida. The Rangers defender read it and puts it out for a throw-in.
Liam, although they're getting themselves into good positions, the Rangers are causing their own troubles by being sloppy in possession. I tell you, I've already highlighted about the pace, but Johnson's marking of Kent is going to be crucial today, because, as I said, he's the only player that will go in behind.
Chip ball looking for Maida, headed away at the angle of the box by Tavernier to Lundstrom, back to the edge of his own area for Goldson, who panically puts it out for a throw-in over on that far side, but in the Celtic half, level with the edge of the centre circle. North stand side, we're up high in the south stand above the 2 technical areas. Michael Beale and Ange Postecoglou standing at the edge of those right now. Either side of the 4th official Willie Collum, as Hatate tries to get on to lovely challenge by Goldson. The 2 players that both teams are so happy to have back in their starting 11s today. Connor Goldson for Rangers, Rio Hatate for Celtic. As Barisic goes long, looking for Kent in behind Johnston. Kent goes down a little too easily for the referee's liking. The Rangers fans protest, not too many on pitch protesting going on. 8.5 in. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
I thought he kept going. If he kept going, he was in.
Yeah, but I thought he got a wee shove on the back there. I thought Johnson was actually wrong side and just leaned on him. It doesn't take too much to lean into somebody for him to go down, as we all know. But yeah, Don Robertson, nice to see that he's just moved on from that. That's what we want. I mean, it's a contact sport. There's going to be bodies coming together. We don't want to see easy penalties and free kicks being given.
Tom touched on Rangers' defensive woes recently. They've conceded at least 2 in 4 of their last 5. As Celtic come forward, Jota, he's got an overlap option, uses it. It's a low ball back by O'Reilly. It's going to find Hatate in the 18-yard line. Heavy first touch. Lundstrom is allowed to clear. The ball back into the box by Taylor's cut out. Now Rangers come away in the canter here with Todd Cantwell. Across halfway, left-footed ball out to this near side. Poor though. He's put it right behind for the goal kick. He's pulled something, hasn't he?
I tell you, that'd be a real blow, because he started the game really well, lots of energy. Whether he just tweaked his hamstring there, but there's a case in point I'm talking about. He's driving away, he shows good pace, but he's absolutely surrounded. There's no one that can go in behind, because Morelos can't. He plays the ball in behind. Morelos can't get there. No, that's just a bump, I think, from Johnson, which I think will please Rangers. medical staff
I
here.
should just say the guys have a monitor, so are able to keep tabs on replays and things like that, which is really beneficial for you as a listener to hear the guys give their thoughts on something they are able to have another look at. And on this occasion, when we thought he maybe tweaked something, Cantwell's clearly taken a sore one from Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, it's just a collision on the thigh, and that was a worry that playing that pass with the left foot, he's maybe tweaked his hamstring, but glad to say it's a collision. But this is a little shove. I mean, there's absolutely not enough to give a free kick about Johnson and Kent in the corner. I know Kent's shouting on it, Pat.
But he was in. I thought he was goal side, and if he kept going and used his body strength a wee bit more, he could have almost controlled the ball and got himself into a great position inside the box. But he can almost went down too easily.
Yes. But I mean, a blistering start to the game. There's been a few heavy challenges getting into the match, but listen, that's what you want from an Old Firm fixture.
It's almost 11 minutes old. Cantwell's coming off to this near side, but you'll be back on in a moment.
You look at the game as it started, and Rangers definitely have controlled the game a little bit because they've had probably more possession. But every time the Celtic get a ball in that final third, they look as if they're going to go and hurt Rangers, and that's the difference. And I don't see that from the Rangers forward line as much, and that's a slight difference in the two teams.
There's better mobility in the Celtic front three, isn't there? As Taylor picks up on the near side, dinks it forward for Maida, and the Rangers half gets away from Lundstrom, not once but twice, and now it's Maida driving forward. Now O'Reilly inside the box pulls it back for Dyson Maida, but it just bounces off his knee and behind for the goal kick. And as Neil was saying there, it's Nicholas Raskin backtracking to prevent Maida from getting a run in on goal.
It's good defending, and he needs to do that because that was another good opportunity for Celtic trying to create something inside the Rangers box, and you've got to be spot on with your tackles also. He uses body strength really well to keep Maida out on that particular occasion.
Despite last weekend's draw with Motherwell, Celtic remain unbeaten in their last 25 since losing in Madrid in the Bernabeu. In their final Champions League game, they're unbeaten in 32 domestic games since losing to St Mirren, and they haven't failed to score in a game since losing 2-0 at home to RB Leipzig in the Champions League on the 11th of October as Jota picks up on the right. Kyogo slips as the cross comes in, headed away by Tavernier, and now it's Callum McGregor back to Taylor, looks to switch it back out to the right for Jota. Barisic comes to meet him, the flag's gone up on the far side, and that will be a free kick to Rangers. 12.5 in, Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it was a good reverse pass there from Greg Taylor. He spotted him just with a yard offside away on the right hand side, but he shouldn't have been. He should have been tracking back a little bit quicker. You can see him, he's just about a yard offside. Good decision from the assistant.
No goals as yet if you are just joining us in sports and across the frequencies on BBC Radio Scotland, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Into the business end of the season. It's the 1st of May tomorrow. Lots of prizes about to be handed out. Celtic could get their hands on the league title again next week when they go to Tynecastle. A win will assure them of that, no matter what Rangers do against Aberdeen later in the day next Sunday. Here's Jota for Celtic, flicking it forward for Kyogo, up against Goldson, who stands his ground well, puts it behind for the corner. Could have been worse though with Kyogo rampaging down on him. And it's a Celtic corner kick, their first of the match. 13.5 in, 0-0.
The very different point of attack that Celtic can have. Case in point there, Liam. Wins the tackle. It's Johnson winning that Kent duel again, but no need for short passing. It's a ball in behind for Kyogo, who's prepared to run down the side of centre-backs. Goldson did well.
In comes the corner. It's headed away by Morelos in the 6-yard line. McGregor volleys it for goal at the edge of the box. It was pretty weak. It's deflected, blocked, and Rangers try and hit in the counter again there, but Callum McGregor doesn't give them a moment to think about what the pass was, and it's lifted out that right hand side. Here comes Celtic with O'Reilly. Lovely control. He's found Jota on the underlap. Chip ball to the back post. Maida's there, but it's really important defending by James Tavernier, I think it was. He was between the man and the ball, and Rangers are able to get it away.
Yeah, brilliant defending from Tavernier at the back post. Lovely little stand up, but he won the battle with the power. He just put Maeda off in the head, and then Rangers pick up and ball on a counter-attack. 14
played, it's goalless at Hampden. It's Kent rolling it back to Barisic, little square ball infield to John Lundstrom, just outside the centre circle. Rangers now getting some possession in Celtic territory. It's with Tavernier wide on the right. Low ball in wasn't the best, and it's a good block there by Taylor, who actually used the block to control it. It was such a weak cross from Tavernier, and now he's coming away with it.
But they're undernumbered as well. Liam, Tavernier will want to put the ball in early as possible, but he's got 2 targets versus 4 Celtic jerseys. I mean, the margin for error is so small, he has to pick him out, absolute pinpoint accuracy. Rangers need to get people flooding that box.
Yeah, I was going to say early before the game started about the back post, what Johnson, he got caught for the goal for Tavernier. He also got caught in that game also with a header. I think he headed it off Carter Vickers. He needs to get his body shape, and then of course you have Jota on that side, who's not going to help him if somebody doubles up on him on that back post.
Meantime, Maida was caught on the near side by Tavernier. Celtic free kick. Taylor takes it short to Callum McGregor. Back to Taylor, back to his captain. Now back with Starfelt in his own half. Switches it left to right of the circle for Carter Vickers. He's been such an impressive figure for Celtic over the last couple of seasons. Here's Starfelt rolling it out to the left for Taylor. Down this near side touchline for Maida, being trapped by Tavernier. Back to Taylor. James Tavernier scored twice against Celtic. The last time counted for nothing other than he got up to 100 goals for the club. Celtic won 3-2. Most recent fixture. This was a Kyogo double then, a Kyogo double here in the League Cup final in February. Here's Jota dancing away from Tillman, being brought down by Tillman, and Celtic have a free kick just beyond the midway point of the Rangers half, slightly right of centre, and a chance to load the box.
Yeah, Celtic coming into this game now, aren't they? They're starting to control things. They're getting their passes away. They're linking up well between the forward players. That time, Jota getting into a good position.
Yeah, but Pat, that happens because Barisic doesn't step in with Jota. He lets him run off him. He stays in his line, he's back four. Jota picks it up and then starts committing people. He's got to go in there. There's no threat. There's a 2v1 at the back. Just step in with your wide player and go man for man.
Matt O'Reilly is standing over the free kick. Opportunity here potentially for Celtic. Left-footed, dinks it in. It's Goldson who wins the header and heads it behind for the Celtic corner.
Yeah, it was a good ball played into a really good area. I was wondering whether McGregor was going to come for it or not, but he left it to Goldson, who defended really well. Corner for Celtic.
That could be a crucial return to the Rangers side for Connor Goldson this afternoon. That's not a slight on John Souttar, just he hasn't played too many games for Rangers. Connor Goldson has. And it's a Celtic corner. It's the Scottish champions attacking the Scottish Cup holders here. Mount Florida end. Corner to be taken by O'Reilly. And it comes off the head of Carter Vickers, but there was a push on one of the Rangers players. I think it's Tavernier, is it, that's down. It's going to be a free kick. In fact, it's Connor Goldson. And that's going to be a free kick to Rangers inside their own penalty area. 17.5 played. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
It's been a good start to the game, though. Both teams are very much in it.
It's with Alan McGregor getting it short back by Goldson. Now to Ben Davis, left-hand side of the box for Barisic. Ball up the line for Raskin. Sit forward to Ked. Little flick to Raskin again. Raskin will shift it to Cantwell in the centre circle. Tavernier over to the right. He takes it infield though and runs into Maida, who's backtrapped brilliantly. Nobody works harder in Scottish football than Daisen Maida, and that was brilliant play from him. Such a good defensive job when things perhaps aren't going for him in the other end. But here's Tavernier for Rangers. Low ball forward towards Morelos. He's been a passenger so far and he's gone down on the edge of the area. No free kick as Jota flicks it towards Kyogo. Ben Davis slides in. Kyogo's on the deck again. It's just a good strong challenge by Ben Davis, but it comes all the way through to Joe Hart. 18.5 played, 0-0.
Willie Miller sitting to my left his eyes would have lit up with that one for a centre back on a striker. You know he's taking the ball, he's going to get a bite at the striker as well.
Well, maybe at a stoppage in play late in the first half here, what Willie's got to say about it. This is the neutral observer as Tillman wins it back for Rangers. Here's Morelos, who rolls it out to the right-hand side for Cantwell. Approaching 19 goalless minutes of the National Stadium. It's John Lundstrom right of the centre circle, sweeps it out to the left-hand touchline for Barisic, being faced by Jota. Midway inside the Celtic half. Low ball along the grass back to Davis. Into his own half for Goldson. Now with Lundstrom, a pretty even game, you would have to say, so far.
Yeah, there was good tracking there by Tillman on McGregor. Won the ball back, but he gave it to Morelos, and Morelos got in between the lines, but he never drove with the ball.
He can't, Pat. He's got to look for a pass.
Yeah, a brilliant switch of play by Rangers out to Kent over on the far side. Chops infield ahead of Johnston. Johnson sticks with him though. Kent looking to find Barisic in the overlap. Sliding in Johnston. and he puts it behind for a Rangers corner this time.
Good overlap from Barisic, but I tell you, Alistair Johnston does so well to make up the ground, to stop the cross coming in. First port of call for a fullback, stop a cross coming into the box. 2v1 there, he shouldn't have made I thought it was maybe delayed a little bit from Ryan Kent.
Absolutely.
Barisic hesitated and then went again.
That 2v1 situation could be a threat from Rangers out on that side, because Jota will not be the man who's going to be helping Alistair Johnston for sure, but he did so well, Alistair Johnston. This is a chance though, set pieces for Rangers. You've got a height.
Tavernier sweeps it in towards the back post. Goldson looking to get onto the end of it. Carter Vickers does get on the end of it at the expense of another Rangers corner, this time over on this near side. Yes, I mean, the compliment you could pay Alistair Johnston is that Celtic haven't missed Josip Juranovic at all.
No, absolutely not. He's settled into that side so well, and particularly in this fixture he's been really, really good. The set pieces will give Rangers an opportunity. Goldson trying to wheel round the back on Carter Vickers. You can see them getting picked up there. Starfelt on Davis. Carter Vickers just picking up that man in the back of the shot there. Connor Goldson, bit of information going to be going here.
It's Barisic this time with the left foot, and it comes headed away by Starfelt. That's really a Rangers throw.
Really good defending from both centre halves. Initially it was Carter Vickers on Connor Goldson. This time Starfelt gets to it first, and that's what you've got to do. Get to the ball first, get your head on it, and make sure that no player gets a free header into that box.
James Tavernier over the throw, a bit level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. And Tavernier waited for some movement, did get some from Lundstrom, didn't fancy that as the option, and now he does pass it to Lundstrom, who goes back to Tavernier. Cushion header to Lundstrom, who rolls it into the centre circle for Davis, and then out wide left for Borna Barisic. Barisic with a long, deep ball. Cantwell nods it back towards Tillman. Callum McGregor read the danger and clears. Only as far as Tavernier on the near side. In it comes. Headed clear by Carter Vickers this time. Good period this for Rangers. Here's Kent. Barisic in the overlap. Now it's Morelos. Was he offside though? Morelos has it. He shoots. It's blocked and the flag does go up. Barisic looked the option all day long there. Almost on 22. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
It was a stupid run because they were in a great position there. He goes too far too early.
Yeah, I think it's the earlier cross that he's flagged offside unbelievably. I mean, this is well back in the phase of play there, but I agree with you, Pat, but I think Ryan Kent should stand on it as well. Just stay on it. He's got maybe 4 or 5 yards of space. Just go and commit someone.
Was it a semi-final back in your day, Neil, when one of the Rangers players literally did stand on the ball?
Yeah, Mr. Kanchelskis, I believe, and then it resulted in a goal, unbelievably. Yeah. I remember
it's a dodgy hat-trick that day, wasn't it?
Aye. The following week he did a pirouette, he jumped over the ball against Command, did a pirouette and did the same thing. And I think Gary Hay booted him into the air about 10 feet because he wasn't having any more of that. He's an entertainer, Andre, some player.
Approaching 23 minutes, Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Yeah, that was against Ayr United in that semi-final. Celtic come forward, Taylor down the left-hand touchline for O'Reilly. Goldson gets there first and knocks it out. He's already, Connor Goldson, he's added that measure of calm to that Rangers defence.
Yeah, reading the game also. Yeah,
he's so comfortable on that right side.
Celtic take the throw. Taylor, Hatate flips it up into the air down the left-hand side of the box, headed away by Tavernier. And Morelos heads it back infield for Kent. He's done brilliantly to work it into the path of Nicholas Raskan, who's driving across halfway. Callum McGregor sticking to him though. Raskan pokes it to Kent. Poor touch, took his eye off at Ryan Kent. And it does break fortuitously for Rangers for Todd Cantwell. 23 and a half in. We're in the second quarter of the semi. Extra time and penalties if required. The right to face Cali Thistle on the 3rd of June. Whoever comes through this is going to be huge favourites. Celtic know becoming an 8th treble in their history. And they'll be standing alone in Scottish football's record books in that particular column. As Tavernier's touch takes it out for a Celtic throw-in down on this near side. I mean, that'll be one of the reasons Rangers won't want Celtic winning this game today. There are many, many others they don't want that happening. They want to hold on to their trophy, which is the most important one. But their season effectively ends today if they don't come through this semi-final. As Carter Vickers rolls it out to Johnston on that far side. And now it's with Carl Starfelt. This is a Celtic side that hasn't lost domestically since September. They did drop those 2 points at Ibrox, but that was a much, much better point for Celtic than it was Rangers that day. As Taylor scoops it back to Carter Vickers, now midway inside his own half, rolls it with the right foot into the Rangers half for Jota. First time ball for Johnston, loses out in the crunching challenge from Raskan. Jota picks up the scraps but can make nothing of it, and Rangers emerge with possession with Morelos, who's brought to the ground by Carter Vickers, and that's going to be a free kick over in the far side as Morelos pushes out at Carter Vickers, as you would expect him to do. It won't take much to wind up Alfredo Morelos this afternoon. 25 played, Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, he just takes it in. Carter Vickers, I mean, again, not much in that for me, but Morelos reacts with a little elbow into the midriff. I don't think he'll get much change out of Carter Vickers standing over him anyway. He's going to have to fight that one out. He's not going to turn his back, the big centre-back.
He's not the tallest centre-back, Cameron Carter Vickers, but he's an absolute machine.
Yeah, he uses his strength, doesn't he? His body strength, and of course, when he does make a mistake when he's on the ball, it's one very, very seldom, and it's a big surprise to everybody because he's been both defensively and on the ball very, very good.
There's Carl Starfelt knocking it forward down his left-hand side. It's with Hatate, who'll roll it back into his own half. Nothing between them so far. There was that one save from Hart earlier on, the Raskan effort which came towards him amidst the plumes of smoke in the opening 20 seconds of the game, but neither goalkeepers had a save to make since. Long way to go though. Carter Vickers to O'Reilly, out to the right hand side for Jota, up against Barisic at the right angle of the box, moves it infield. Johnston, time to take a touch and he shoots, and McGregor does save this time, beats it half away. O'Reilly tries to pull it back, blocked by Goldson. Ryan Kent trying to get onto it in the far side, loses out. Celtic have it. Jota, there was a foul, but Jota plays on, and his efforts blocked by the boot of Alan McGregor at the near post. Barisic's booked because he's absolutely wiped out Matt O'Reilly over on the far side, and that will be a free kick to, well, of course he would play on, so it'll be a corner only over on that far side. 0-0, 26 and a half on the clock.
Good advantage. Matt O'Reilly just skips the challenge. Barisic commits to it, wipes him out. Yeah, it's worth a yellow card. I just feel, I know you said it's been no much in it, Liam, but I feel that the game's just starting to settle a little bit in Celtic's favour. The spark's going out of Rangers' press. Celtic are finding an extra man in midfield, and they're starting to knock it about more smoothly than the start of the match.
There's Jota wide on the right from the short corner. It's blocked by Lundstrom up into the air. Awkward jump there by Morelos. Starfelt gets his head onto it, but Rangers clear. Now it's Johnston just outside the centre circle, clipping it out to the far side. Kent heads it out for a throw-in over there. So actually, when you consider that opening shot, or the first shot of the game in the opening minute, it was a deflection rather than a hard save. I couldn't see because of the smoke. Looked like it was a save initially. So Alan McGregor's save there is the first save of the match. As Maida tries to come down the left, there's a flag though on the far side, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0 on 27.5 minutes. But Alan McGregor had to look lively there.
Yeah, you keep it out whatever way you can. He saved it with his feet this time. It was low down to right in among his feet. So yeah, that's the modern way of goalkeeping now.
Free kick to Rangers for that previous offside. Alan McGregor over it down on the near side. Of course, made that late cameo in last season's final. Looked for all the money that would be it for him as he slips taking the free kick, but he did well to find Lundstrom, who tries to hook it into the path of Tillman down this near side. Starfelt comes across and puts it out for a Rangers throw-in about level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. It looks as though Willie Collum is no longer on fourth official duties. John Beaton's just made an appearance down on the touchline, so he's now taking over fourth official duties. Willie Collum's behind him as I would assume a fifth official.
How sore does your calf get? You can't even stand.
He's not having to run too much down there, is he? As the ball ends up off Callum McGregor, and it runs fortunately for him back to his goalkeeper, and Hart holds on. 28.5 on the clock.
Yeah, that press, you talked about it. Even now, you know, Rangers, it's a throw out from Joe Hart, and they're just knocking the ball across the back, and it's not really a press that's going to hurt Celtic.
Tillman won it back there, and now it's Lundstrom to Raskan, tries to knock it through to Morelos, blocked by Starfelt on the 18-yard line. And now Johnston's away, frees himself at the shackles of Kent and rolls it out wide right. Jota, it's an early ball. Kyogo's in the middle, but Alan McGregor smothers it at the feet of the Japanese, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. We're in the 30th minute.
Good press again. I think it was a trap set by Tillman. Robs the ball. It was a sloppy pass from Taylor. When it goes into Raskin, he's equally sloppy, but there was another indication of Johnson having the pace of Ryan Kent, pushes him off, plays a great ball, and as a wide player, I'm not going to be loving Celtic doing great things today, but I love wide players that put balls in early for strikers, and it was a fraction out. He didn't just get enough bend on it, Jota, otherwise it could have been real trouble for Rangers backline.
Yeah, but you can see the difference also when Celtic do want it back. They
such a threat,
go an intent, a real intent. Rangers just don't have that.
Yeah, Celtic beginning to dictate things. Callum McGregor rolling it out to the right there for O'Reilly. Pops up everywhere. Now Jota, he gets round Barisic, he reacts, behind it goes. Is it a goal kick in a corner? Goal kick, says the assistant over on the far side, Dougie Potter. Don Robertson agrees. It's a Rangers goal kick, and it is 0-0 at Hampden on half an hour here.
I tell you, Barisic has got a problem as well, Liam, because he's booked now.
Yep.
And Jota, the way Celtic play, will try and isolate the fullback up against Jota. So yeah, he's got a long time to make sure that his tackles are right, his body checking's right, and his positioning's right.
Rangers in possession. Short ball from Alan McGregor from the goal kick out to Barisic. Long ball which is cleared by Carter Vickers with Morelos on the halfway line. Breaks back the way to Starfelt, and then he turns it with the right foot low to his left for Taylor. Greg Taylor down the left-hand touchline for Maida. Takes a touch, they're going to get away from Tavernier. Moving in field at pace. Lundstrom gets the slightest of touches onto it.
Big tackle.
Goldson slides in on Maida to win it back for Rangers. Here's Cantwell under pressure as he loses it in the midfield. It's Jota who picks up, and now it's with Johnston. Looks up at the Rangers box. The right angle of it now, taking on Barisic, who blocks it. Johnston gets a second chance at the byline. Again, Barisic blocks it, and out for a Celtic throw-in, level with the Rangers 6-yard line over on that north stand side.
You've got to say, two good blocks from a defender that's under a bit of pressure, but and that's what he's got to do.
Carter Vickers finds Hatate. He rolls it to Callum McGregor, back to Carter Vickers, scoops it out to the right for Johnston, who controls, turns, looks at the box, a disguised ball to Jota, under no pressure, nobody near him, right hand side of the box, twisting and turning away from Raskan. Low or high ball towards the back post area, but it's headed clear and out to Taylor. It drops, who finds Starfelt, and back to Greg Taylor, level with the edge of the D, taking on Tillman, who comes in, makes the challenge. The ref's happy with it, and Tavernier will clip it out of play.
He's hurt himself though.
I think he's hurt his hamstring here as well, overstretched. I think he did win the ball. Greg Taylor's looking for a free kick. He's probably wrong side. He just stretches. He doesn't get the ball. Actually, it was a free kick. So
yeah, he's struggling. He's overstretched himself. You can see him.
Nah, his left hamstring.
Yeah, so Malik Tillman is going to be worked on now. Just wonder what he's...
Well, Scott Arfield probably, I'd imagine. You can see him out there warming up. I tell you, I don't know if it's just me, and I'd like to get Willie's taking this as well, but
why don't we do that in a second?
I don't think Rangers look all that fresh. I think they look really tired, you know.
Let's see what Willie makes of what he's seen so far. 32 and a half in 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been not a bad half for Rangers, but I do agree with Neil. I think they do look heavy. You know, the first 10-15 minutes, I thought that they were really sharp in closing Celtic down, but you're now watching them, everything's a bit of a struggle. It's not done at any kind of a pace when they're putting Celtic under pressure, and you just wonder that first 10-15 minutes, could they keep that up for the whole 90? They haven't managed to keep it up for the first 45. I think they do look as though they're lumbering a little bit.
Thanks, Willie. It will be a Celtic ball from the throw-in on this near side. I was just going to say, Packy, to Neil, I was having a look back at last year's semi-final. We're talking about Rangers being leggy. One of the things about last season's semi-final was how good they were fitness-wise, fitness levels-wise, and stuff. And that was with European games as well, on top of it.
Yeah, very much so, and that's
cleared by Barisic. Carter Vickers into the box, not a great clearance. Ben Davis in the 18-yard line heads it away, and it's clearance completed by Kent. We'll revisit that in a moment. Celtic on the ball. It's Starfelt, gets it out to Greg Taylor on this near side. Heavy touch allowed Cantwell in, but he does well to press it forward towards Maida. Cut out by Tavernier, and Cantwell wins the throw-in off Taylor and tries to get the Rangers fans going, trying to whip them up down on this near side. It's Rangers nil, Celtic nil on 34.
He's probably been their best player. He doesn't look that leggy. He looks like
he's putting in a power of work.
Shift.
I agree. Tillman's back on, Pat, but I'm not sure if that hamstring's born him. You can see he's still grimacing. He's back down. I'd be surprised, you know. You can't work against Celtic a man down.
No, and he's one of the players who looked a little bit leggy, to be honest, before he even got the injury. He's put a few sprints in to try and
Arfield.
close down McGregor, which he did quite well. But maybe that's just taking it out of him. But he's certainly there's going to be a change here for Rangers.
It's going to be Scotty Arfield.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, you know, I know it's a loss because Tillman's a talented player, but I tell you what Scott will offer, and it's what I think's missing from this Rangers side, is someone is prepared to go in behind. And he's not getting any younger, Scott, but his application level and his willingness to do that, I think, is vital still to Rangers. I mean, they might have to go and look and replace that type of player for a younger version in the summer, but we'll still get something that Rangers need to play for here.
Yeah, and he's always liable to get a goal too, Scarf. He finds himself in good positions
Very much so.
in the box when if Rangers are controlling the game and they get balls into those areas but he's always one that you would take off the bench late on in the game if you needed him. Now he has to get in and do a real job, not alone attacking wise, but he's got to do a defensive role also on McGregor.
He did it last season, came off the bench a lot later in the game and scored Rangers' equaliser, didn't he, that took the game to extra time as he replaces Tillman.
I think fans would probably argue that Scott would be better coming off the bench anyway. It's his impact, his freshness.
Yeah.
I think he's a really intelligent player where he'll probably watch as a partner of the game and picks up probably better areas because he's been studying how things go.
It'll be interesting to see will they put him on McGregor, or will they put Cantwell into that position?
Final 10 minutes, in fact final 9 minutes now of the first half here. No goals as yet. Cali Thistle, Billy Dodds, his players sitting at home with their feet up after doing their bit against Falkirk here yesterday. And there's a foul, I think, by Morelos down in this near side on Taylor, who's just getting back to his feet now. Free kick to Celtic, midway inside their own half on this near side.
I haven't seen a replay of it, but I think he's okay. Taylor's more a hand than anything else. Just trying to shield him off.
You're getting a replay now.
Yeah, there's nothing much in it.
Of course, there's still no Antonio Cholak for Rangers, so you know, I know Morelos was clearly far from the levels that he wants to be, or the Rangers fans want them to see him at Pittodrie last week, but they don't have too many other options in that regard. As Carter Vickers picks up for Celtic, walking pace, long ball now released. Kyogo's gone down under the challenge of Ben Davis. No free kick to come all the way through. Talon McGregor, he plays it short to his right for Goldson. 37 played, Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, obviously Kyogo trying to run in behind, but because he's a lot smaller than Ben Davis at the centre halves, you're always going to, if you're going to block him off, you're always going to catch him around that upper part of his body, and he goes down.
I've caught a few off of you today already, but I know how he feels.
There's Arfield to Lundstrom, and then back to Arfield on the near side. Inside the Celtic half, Lundstrom back to Tavernier. Tate all over him, he's forced back into his own half for John Lundstrom. He now finds Goldson, pushes it forward to Raskan. Now Lundstrom, Maida swarming around them. Square ball by Lundstrom, always a dodgy one across your own box. Finds Davis, he finds Alan McGregor, who's then put it into touch in the far side. That's come from just Celtic spooking the Rangers defenders into making the error. It was the goalkeeper who put it into touch.
You know that Kyogo's always going to close you down, and Alan McGregor has no option but to play it long now, whether he should kick it out or not, but he's certainly cleared his area.
Maida with the cross, he's found Jota, just squirms under his foot. His touch lets him down. He was in a terrific area all alone as well. And Jota picks up level with the Rangers 6 over on the far side. Back to Callum McGregor, takes a touch and sweeps it out to the left for Maida, taking on Tavernier, trying to spin his man. He's now level with the 6-yard line, making for the byline now. Maida looking for a corner, failing to get one though. Goal kick to Rangers, and it remains goalless on 38.5 minutes at the National Stadium.
That's a big let off, isn't it? But I mean, it was a super ball for the back post, or to the back post. I mean, I'm all for a fullback squeezing in and getting inside the back post if he has to, but he didn't. Barisic's probably overcovered there. Had Jota taken a nice touch, my goodness, what a chance it was.
Just goes under his foot, and a player of his ability, you would expect him to get his touch right and get his shot away, but yeah, and he had all the space in the world if he managed to technically get it under control, but he let it slip through him.
There's the Tate for Kyogo, a good block by Ben Davis. Now Raskan does well, he's in a decent game, Raskan, as Lundstrom takes it down in the chest. Now he's driving forward, John Lundstrom, it's open right up for him as well. He's on the edge of the box, he waits too long, he's got a corner, but he could have gambled a bit there and had a go at goal. It just perhaps wouldn't sit for him. It was bobbling in front of him. And he's got to settle for the corner as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half at 0-0.
What a beautiful little flick through from Scott Arfield. It just opened up for him. Morell's run's good. He takes one centre-back, Starfelt, right out the equation, but Matt O'Reilly working back in just to rob the ball, as it looked like Lundstrom was just trying to get half a yard out of his feet just to get the shot away.
It was a better run though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Charge,
very forceful.
You know, because I haven't seen it from Rangers players yet. Now was the first one, and right through the middle. Good run from Lundstrom, and gets a corner.
Barisic in swinger with the left boot from the Rangers right, and it comes as very deep. Goldson tries to attack it against Carter Vickers. It breaks Ben Davis's way. Arfield heads it towards the 6-yard area, and then it's cleared by O'Reilly. Good defending. He was in the right place as Jota smashes it forward into the Rangers half, looking for a run, and he's not getting one. There's a green and white runner now. Maida wins it back off Kent, but it breaks fortuitously back to Alan McGregor, and Ryan Kent's breathing a massive sigh of relief.
What's going through your mind there, Neil? You're almost a striker, let's call him a striker, and he's back in defensive role. Surely the first thing in your mind is play that ball back to Alan McGregor.
It's a hell of a risk. If you're going to dribble out of it, you have to have a wee bit of I don't know, enthusiasm about it. I mean, he just tries to go around him as if he's stopped.
Jota for Maida, first time ball, looking for Kyogo in the middle, and it's cut out in the 18-yard line. Now Morelos gets in ahead of Carter Vickers, runs out to the left. Cantwell for support. It's Morelos, rolls it down the left-hand side for Cantwell. Strong up against Starfelt it was, and then he releases the ball into the box. Can't find anyone in blue and white, and it's all the way through to Joe Hart. And on 41 minutes, bang on that mark now, Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Crucial time in the game too, leading into half-time. Is always a period where something happens.
They always look light for me, Rangers, when they break. They always look outnumbered, and as if they're just breaking their neck trying to get there and running out of steam while they're doing it. They're never really fresh when they get into the final third, and I think that's something that Michael Beale needs to address. You know, whether I think Kent has done nothing for me in this first half, and Ravi Matondo hasn't really shown an awful lot, but coming on against Aberdeen last week, he looked forceful, he looked quick. I think he needs to shake the tree a little bit with Kent.
Here comes Celtic, down the right, it's O'Reilly, up against Rascan, down goes O'Reilly, no free kick. Celtic play on, Rangers stop, Maida cross, and there's the goal! Jota!
Unbelievable
for Celtic! Celtic strike! 3 minutes shy of the half-time interval! And it's Jota, free header from a few yards out. He'd so much time to just pick where in the goal frame he was going to put it. The Rangers defence stopped completely, and Jota and Celtic take full advantage. It is advantage to the treble chasers against the holders. Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Well, Tom talked about it before the game. Another huge moment in this fixture. Initially I thought it was a free kick, but Rangers stood still, and so quickly did Celtic exploit them. Maeda, sharp as a tank, getting onto that free ball, gets a brilliant cross to the back post, and there was Jota all alone. Every Rangers defender went to sleep on this occasion, and Jota had the easy of task to head it past Alan McGregor.
Let's describe the goal, because it's a brilliant goal from Celtic's point of view. From Maeda, what a cross, what a stand-up, and what a brilliant bit of movement from Jota, and a bullet header. But then let's strip it back at how bad that is for Rangers. Rascan is saying, right, it's not a foul, just stops. Ryan Kent just turns and runs away. Lundstrom's caught on his heels, Davis caught on his heels. Maeda, the only guy moving forward, takes it, clips the ball to back post. Tavernier's just caught on his heels as well. He gets done with the run of Jota. I mean, that's a calamity for Rangers, an absolute calamity, an absolute gift before half time as well. I mean, how easy do you want to make it for the champions?
Yeah, I did say it's a time in the game that something normally happens just before half time, and wow, but how quick and sharp was Celtic.
That was the very
players.
Embodiment of their "we never stop" mantra. Yeah. Rangers stopped, for some reason Celtic lost the ball.
I think Rangers fans our players thought it was a free kick also, Neil, when that block came in on O'Reilly, and when you have to play the
when you're a wee boy growing up in football and you get through the ranks and you start to get into professional leagues, and then you get in there, there's a shout that always happens: play the whistle. Play to the whistle. Raskin stops, Kent inexplicably turns and runs the other direction.
And then the back post, honestly, the back post to Tavernier went to sleep.
He just switched off, and Jota always on the move. I tell you what a ball from Maeda.
Great ball.
What a stand-up.
14th goal of the season for Jota. He's been out for the last couple. He's such an important player. And he's managed to score now. His third goal against Rangers this season was that lovely lob in the first league meeting between them. He scored in the other game at Celtic Park too.
And if you have a chance of doing something against Celtic, you've got to get that first goal, really, haven't you? You know, they've proved before they can come back, but that's a crucial one right before half-time. And Celtic takes all the pressure off them. Now they can control the game. Now they can pass the ball around, forcing Rangers into probably positions they don't want to go.
Heading for injury time here. Yeah, John Beaton's got the board. We've played the 45 now. There's going to be 3 additional minutes. Celtic with a lead. And just what Packy's talking about there, they've only lost one domestic game when scoring the first goal since autumn 2018. It was here against Rangers last season. There's Johnston on the underlap on the right-hand side. Rangers can't afford to concede again. This time it's defended by Davis. He sees it behind for the goal kick. How often do Celtic score late in each half to change the complexion and course of a game? Because this was pretty even up to that point. But now it's advantage Celtic with lower league opposition waiting in the final.
Liam, I would go as far to say is that's no accident. I mean, that's coming from the coach to say, look, concentration levels getting towards the end of the half, we'll drop off, the mistakes we make sure that we're ready to hit that and capitalise on that. That's not an accident. That's ingrained into this side. But my goodness, if you want to make it easy for some, we're playing with VAR here, and the game never stops until the phase of play stops. And they'll go back and check it if it's a free kick or it's something different. How you can stop in that area of the pitch is beyond me.
Here's Barisic for Rangers, who are looking for a leveller in first half stoppage time. Kent's cross ball comes in, and Hart commands his area brilliantly, dives down onto it, takes all the pressure off his defence, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1. And Packy, I'm sure, enjoyed Joe Hart commanding his area there.
Yeah, listen, he came, he took control of the situation. He had to go low to get it, but you would expect a Rangers player to be going to cross him. You know, it was a decent ball in, what pace, low into that 6-yard box, but nobody getting across the first defender to make it difficult for Joe Hart. But Joe Hart, calm and collective.
With Connor Goldson for Rangers, long ball out towards Tavernier, heads it into the path of Arfield. Can he get in behind Maida? Yes, he can. He's in the box. Arfield wanted to take another touch though. He wins a corner, though he did have Morelos and Raskan waiting on the 6-yard line for a pass. It's 1-0 to Celtic, and Rangers will have a corner in the third and final minute of first half injury time.
Yeah, this needs to be put in the right area here. Celtic have defended well so far. I thought Scott Arfield, when he won the sort of duel to get in front of Maida, needs to cut across him. He didn't allow Maida to get back in, typically.
Barisic with an in-swinger for Rangers from the Rangers right. They tap the goal to the right, and it comes. Hart comes and punches it away, collides with his own man. Kent picks up the scraps wide on that left-hand side, taking on Maida. Good play from Kent, looks up, hangs the ball in, it's decent. Hart gets a vital touch onto it, breaks to Barisic. Barisic has gone down inside the box as it goes behind off him for a goal kick.
He's got to square it to Arfield. He tries to chop onto his weaker right side, and I think he slips. I don't think it's a penalty. They might have a little look at it.
No, it's not. It's a slip.
Yeah, but I think he's just got to square past the Arfield. He's just standing there waiting on it.
But I've got to give credit to Joe Hart on this occasion. The first one, he gets a great punch on it.
Comes a long way
under
there,
severe pressure, and then he's got caught a little bit of his near post, but he's moved his feet really, really well to get a vital touch to knock it away.
That roar comes from the Celtic supporters. It's half-time at Hampden. They're halfway to the final. They're well on their way to a treble. Jota's taking the acclaim down below us. It's his goal just a few minutes before the interval when the Rangers defence stopped. Maida curling, bending a wonderful ball into the area. That unlocked the Rangers defence, which was statuesque in any case. And Jota planted the header past Alan McGregor. It was a game of few chances up to that point. Jota scoring his 14th goal of the season. It's been so profitable for so many of Celtic's forward players. And now they are very much in the box seat here in the second of the Scottish Cup semi-finals, which at half-time is Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
The Scottish Cup. Rangers versus Celtic.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Glasgow Warriors in the United Rugby Championship playoffs.
And suddenly Scotland comes to life.
Franco Smith's men have reached the final 8 in the URC.
There's an energy to them, there's a desire.
And now they'll face Munster in their quarter-final clash at Scotstoun Stadium.
And Glasgow in underneath the post.
Sports Sound Rugby.
Glasgow Warriors versus Munster.
Saturday from 7.
Listen on digital radio or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds.
Half-time at Hampden Park. It is Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Highlights tonight on Sports Scene, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. A couple of points for you to look out for in the week ahead. These two also in action in the Youth Cup final on Wednesday night. Again, that's live on BBC Scotland. The programme starts at 6:50 and they will round the week off with, well, it's a massive night in the Championship on Friday. Everything will be resolved, top and bottom of the second tier. There's a straight shootout between Queen's Park and Dundee for the title. And of course, Hamilton, Cove Rangers and Arbroath all looking to avoid relegation at the bottom end. So some big matches, full coverage on the radio and telly on Friday night. Still a long way to go here, but Celtic will have taken so much from that opening goal, and it says everything about the DNA of this Celtic team, that they were alert to the situation while Rangers weren't. And it was Jota who headed in for his 14th goal of the season. Celtic are in charge. Willie Miller, has the game gone the way that you would have anticipated?
I think as far as Rangers are concerned, I think, you know, for the majority until they lost the goal, I felt that they had defended reasonably well. I think Connor Goldson coming back into the team gives them, you know, more stability there. They looked reasonably organised whenever Celtic threatened, and Celtic threatened, you know, they were the team that were threatening. I think as far as Rangers concerned, I might jump about a little bit here, Richard, if that's okay. As far as Rangers are concerned, going forward, they're giving me absolutely everything I expected from them, which is virtually nothing. They just don't, you know, Morelos is no threat whatsoever. I mean, your Starfelt and your Carter Vicker, you don't get an easier afternoon than what they've had in the first 45 minutes so far with Morelos. He just ambles about the park. He's no threat in behind, very rarely coming off and taking the ball in. He's done it on a couple of occasions, but when that's your main focal point and that's your main threat going forward, then, you know, what I said before the game is just playing out here in the first 45 minutes. Rangers don't really have that threat going forward. You know, they've responded quite well to the goal, and Joe Hart has done great in the last you know, few minutes of the game to curb that threat. But you know, overall, I think Rangers have done okay. You know, they haven't been that far off it. I think the game has been pretty close, but for me, going forward, the threat is always with Celtic. You look at the players that they get in the ball. You look at the running of Maeda, for instance, the threat that Kyogo has, although he hasn't shown too much of it in the first 45 minutes. And Jota, I mean, what Jota's thinking about, you know what I think he's thinking about? I think he wants to stand on the ball. You know how you can control the ball two ways. You can take it with the inside of your foot, or you can stand on it, and I think he feels that it's that easy, that he's just going to stand on it, get it under control, and then it's what an opportunity that was. That was just one that just, you know, slipped away from Celtic. I think if he puts the inside of his foot, he controls it, I think it's almost a definite goal. So that was a bit of a let-off. The goal itself,
So let me just try to paint a picture if anyone wasn't listening at the time and they haven't seen it.
That's what I was doing, Richard, as well. You know. I'm so deflated now that you've got it.
No, I was just going to bring you up to the moment where you can bring your key analysis to the situation.
Okay.
And it's a free kick for Celtic, which they take fairly quickly. McGregor on the side there, passes towards O'Reilly, who gets challenged and goes down. And then 4 Rangers players stand and watch.
Yeah.
One or any of them could have made a move to that ball. Not a single one did. And then Celtic are electric, aren't they?
Richard, they all think it's a free kick, right? And it's a cardinal sin, as Neil has pointed out. From a kid, you're told, play to the whistle, don't switch off. Such an important game here as well, that you can't switch off like that. But it's not just one player that switched off. They've all switched off. I think it was Davis initially that Maeda was on. I haven't seen the replay, but I think it was Davis. And Maeda's run actually from behind Davis to get in front of him to win the ball, as Davis is just standing there expecting the free kick to be given. And then Maeda gets it, turns around, it's a great clip to the back post, but then you've got Golson, who's maybe just too far ahead, and then you've got Tavernier, who's just switched off completely, and Jota just drifts in. His eyes are on the ball, he knows that there's an opportunity there, and it's such a simple header into the back of the net. It's what you come to expect now from Rangers. It's a goal where you analyse it and you think that can't possibly happen with the quality of players that they've got, but unfortunately it constantly does happen, and that's why they're behind.
Willie, I'm just watching the replay, so it's sorry to put in there, but I was talking about Ryan Kent, okay, it's not a witch hunt here, but I'm talking about him just turning his back and running away. See, when Celtic get a free kick deeper, he just turns his back and walks, and the ball's played past him into Matt O'Reilly, who drives, but Raskin goes past him. It's a catalogue of errors of people just switching off. It is mind-boggling, honestly.
The responsibility has to come from Ben Davies there. He's the centre half. He's the one that's nearest the ball, to be perfectly honest, when it breaks. But he almost stands.
Was it him or Barisic?
No, well, that's a good question, but from what I just quickly saw
Tom, I don't
there,
know if you were watching that there. I don't know, it was Barisic that switches off.
I think it was Barisic.
Yeah.
Who blocked? Sorry,
I mean, watch this free kick here. Look, Kent, back turn, not interested. Rolled
Raskin,
past him, right? And then Raskin has to come out, break his midfield position. Free kick, no. We'll just stand.
Sorry,
right.
it is.
It's Barisic. He just likes me to run off.
Sorry, apologies.
Wow.
To Ben Davies. It is Barisic. He almost I don't know what he was thinking. As a defender, you've got to react. And then the back post, Tavernier also. He doesn't even know where Jota is.
Tavernier, we've seen this goal played out on a loop.
I was going to say, Tom, you spoke beforehand about reviewing all the goals that Celtic have scored against Rangers under Raj Postecoglou. There are so many similarities to so much of that goal.
The only thing that's different is that a lot of the other goals, there was 1 or 2 Rangers players culpable. Here there was 4 and 5 Rangers. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. But it's the same type of defensive lap, switching off, as the boys are saying. Kent running away, and Tavernier's position. And Tavernier, he's eulogised because of the goals he gets and all the rest of it. As a defender, he's a very, very poor defender. Constantly getting caught in these games, and his positioning there was atrocious. Not the only one responsible, but he was heavily culpable when that ball, and he's the Rangers captain. When that ball is in the air, he hasn't a clue where Jota is.
No, but his position's fine. It's his awareness, his body shape. He doesn't see where
his position isn't fine, Pat, because he hasn't a clue where Jota is.
His body position. He's actually on a good defensive cover, but he needs to react. He needs to know where to defend.
That's what I mean. He hasn't a clue.
Defended him really well at the back post. Sorry, I was faded out there, I think.
I think you picked up the wrong microphone. That was the issue.
Yeah, that might be the problem, aye.
It's quite easy. You're blue.
To be your microphone blue. The problem was I was halfway through a pie and wanted to jump into this argument. But sorry, Tavernier has actually defended 3 of those crosses really well, Tom. But you're absolutely right. He's culpable because he's switched off and Jota's ran away from him. But Barisic, we're talking about him defensively. Your first job stop across. He switched off. Maeda stood up. I'm telling you, pull that goal apart. It doesn't reflect well in any player in that surrounding that area.
Absolutely. But from a Celtic's perspective,
well, I was going to say, Pat, it does. It reflects so well on the mentality of those Celtic players, and Maeda in particular. Liam talked about him in commentary. Said, "Look, he is the hardest working player in Scottish football.
He is
just always on the move,
and he's so alert. And his speed. Never mind his speed of movement, his speed of thought, and that is one of the big differences between these two teams offensively. Celtic's speed of thought is miles quicker than Rangers' speed of thought. And you look at Rangers going forward, and there's 3 or 4 times Cantwell has bombed forward, Lundstrom has, Raskin has, nobody up with him. Kent, Ryan Kent put in a decent cross, but with about 2 minutes to go in the half. Apart from that, utterly anonymous. Alistair Johnson has taken him out of the game with ease. He's not even trying that hard to take him out of the game. Kent, Morelos, Tillman, when he was on the pitch before he went off, anonymous. Those three passengers, total passengers for Rangers.
See, when you're playing with a player like Morelos, I don't think I could cope with it as a teammate, because he offers nothing. He offers nothing in such an important game here this afternoon to the team. So, you know, surely that then goes through the team in their mental state when they're watching their main focal point up there, their main threat, doing absolutely that. And not for the first time. I mean, this is constant performances that you're seeing from Alfredo Morelos, and that must have an effect mentally on the rest of his teammates, guys.
Willie, I think if you were in the dressing room, you would be having words as a captain of that team on a weekly basis with Morelos. You may fall out with him, but would you get something out of him? I'm not so sure. I don't think he has it in him.
Your options, Willie, would be Hadji, Wright, Sakala, non-out-and-out strikers, but would you be tempted to make a change?
I think you would, Richard. I mean, I just think it's unacceptable. And watching him close up, when he played up at Pittodrie as well, watching that performance too, I said after the game that it's unacceptable. I think the first 45 minutes is unacceptable. I think anybody up there apart from Morelos. Now, we know he's got qualities and he can find the back of the net, but it's how he goes about the game, and you're 1-0 down here. The problem he's the main focal point, Neil. It's not good enough.
You're becoming one-dimensional. And it has to be into his body because he's strong and he's powerful, right? And if it's not that, and that's not working, where did the Rangers team go? So, listen, if you go look at this, we're in the National Stadium. Stevie Clark built us on when Lyndon Dykes came into the team. And when the ball went up, he was always either going to win the physical battle, the knockdowns, hold it up, and it released John McGowan, and that boy just became a national treasure because there was a trust to get there. Now, the ball either has to be absolutely pin perfect, or there's no trust to go beyond or get in touch because they're thinking he's not going to move. It's just going to come back.
You're a defender against him. You know that there's not a threat in behind. Listen, that's you just get the sunglasses out then, don't you? Because
we can criticise.
It's such an easy first 45 minutes for the two Celtic central defenders, because you know that the only threat is going to be is maybe up to Morelos' feet, and who's going to run in behind you? No one. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's a brilliant scenario for a defender.
We can analyse Morelos' non-performance and criticise him, and he deserves it. Michael Beale is the one who's put him on the pitch.
Yeah.
Michael Beale has seen this guy put in these kind of performances week after week after week, and still plays him. Doesn't come up with anything else.
What option did he have?
He could have played Tillman. He could have played Tillman through the middle. I'm not saying this is not.
He could have played Sakala.
It's rearranging the chairs a little bit, okay. But he kind of knows what he's going to get from Morelos. But it's the definition of madness, doing exactly the same thing and hoping for a different outcome. He knows pretty much what he's going to get from Morelos. It's not good enough. He's the manager of Rangers. It's his job to try and do something different.
He needs to address that. I know we've not got time, Richard, sorry, but to address it, Michael Beale can't address that right now, but he needs to do it in the summer. But you're looking at it there. I would take him off. I would put
Sakala is coming on. Sakala is coming on. I can see him down there.
But is it for Kent or Morelos?
No, Morelos is still there.
I think it might be for Ryan Kent.
Looks like it. Yeah, no sign.
Another absolute non-event.
Right. There's plenty of discussion to be had, and we can do that after the game because we're on for some significant time. It is number 14 Ryan Kent who goes off. It's number 30 Fashion Sakala who comes on. So Morelos, the man the guys were talking about there, just trudging on to the park there. Here come the Celtic players too. They'll be high after scoring just before the interval. 1-0 it is for the champions, and the side who will very shortly be confirmed champions for this season as well. Can Rangers find a way back in this semi-final? Full live commentary here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland with Pat Bonner, Neil McCann and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, I think it was Fashion Sakala put the pressure on Carl Starfelt for Calvin Bassey's ball in the event. It was the winning goal in last season's semi in extra time. As he replaces Kent, who's been out for the last couple of matches anyway. Celtic will kick off the second half. No changes for them. Left to right, you would argue it's their strongest 11 anyway. Green and white hoop shirts, white shorts, green and white socks, going towards the Tory Glen End, the east end of the stadium with their supporters. The majority of them are housed as Starfelt finds Carter Vickers. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops will shoot towards the west end of the stadium as that goes out of play for a throw-in on this near side. So Tally McGregor in goal for Rangers, Tavernier, Goldson, Davis and Barisic, Raskan and Lundstrom, Cantwell Arfield and Sakala now with Morelos for Celtic. Hart in goal, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatate, Jota and Maidan, Kyogo Furuhashi. And it's Hatate in possession here right of the centre circle. Given away though, straight to Arfield. Callum McGregor's on hand though. Slides in, Arfield wins it back though, and it's Cantwell looking to get it to Morelos. Gets himself into possession. He turns it back to Raskan. Square ball for Lundstrom in the opening minute of the second half here. John Lundstrom on the far side with Celtic 1 up. Rangers looking to press early in the second half. They began the brighter of the two. And that Raskan shot inside the opening 20 seconds, but presses little else fell for them. There's Goldson, finds Cantwell. It's out to the touchline, Tavernier. Brilliant ball, first time to Arfield. Starfelt reads it, puts it out for a throw-in. About level with the edge of the 6-yard line. Over on that far side for Rangers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Rangers set themselves up with that change. I think it's almost like a 4 and a diamond in the middle of the pitch with two up top, Sakala and Arfield. But we'll see how it settles down so early in this second half.
It looks like a 4-3-1-2.
Yeah, it's a 1-2. Cantwell off of Morelos and Sakala.
Cantwell dinks it into the penalty area. It's Arfield, hooks it back high towards the 18-yard line. Jota is able to clear though. Ben Davis fouled by Kyogo. Free kick Rangers midway inside the Celtic half. Bang centre of the pitch as well. It's been a bright start to the second period by the Rangers players. You must have had a rocket from Michael Beale, because this is a gargantuan second half for both these clubs. But Rangers haven't really, albeit they've had a lot of the ball, haven't really turned up in an attacking sense. And that needs to change. Otherwise Celtic will have a shot at lower league opponents to seal a treble.
Yeah, a chance for them here though from this free kick. Obviously it's a bit too far out for Tavernier to have a direct go at goal, so it'll be played into that back post for Goldson and Ben Davis. Lundstrom.
Tavernier over it, waiting for the whistle which came there from referee Don Robertson. Tavernier clips it in, headed away by Carter Vickers. He decisively, as Cantwell picks up the scraps, facing his own goal. Now he's turned away from Jota, down he goes, free kick again. This time Jota's the offender, and that's a free kick for Rangers. And this time it's much further back. It's almost a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. Still in the Celtic half though, as we tick on to 48 minutes. Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Oh, managerial instruction there. Mick Beale, both Connor Goldson and Davis stayed back there, and then as a manager it was waving them forward, encouraging them to get up to the top line.
Barisic stands over this free kick, lifts it into the penalty area. It's going to be headed away by another Celtic defender. It's Starfelt this time. Cantwell and Maidan the foot race on the far side. Cantwell slides in. He can only put it out for a Celtic throw in level with their own 18. Over on that north stand side for Greg Taylor, right in front of the Rangers fans who occupy that section of the north stand over on the far side. The drizzle continuing to fall down on the Hampden pitch, a very slick surface. Barely a breath of wind, much milder than it was here yesterday for the first semis. Raskan's tripped by O'Reilly. A lot of free kicks being given away by Celtic here as Rangers try and find a route back onto level terms.
Well, they know that they don't give free kicks away around the edge of the box. These free kicks are probably in an area where they can defend, of course, and they can't get a direct hit on target, but they must learn from the last game when they give a free kick away in a very dangerous area, and Rangers scored from it, put them back in the game.
Yeah, they've only kept 3 clean sheets in their last 12 of Celtic. Barisic clips the free kick to the right-hand side of the box, headed away off Maida, I think. Cantwell picks up at the right angle of the area. He swings it in this time. Morelos heads it down. Sakala tries to poke it home, and it's blocked right on the goal line, just about, by Carter Vickers.
I think he's at it, and he is at it. I mean, that's some recovery.
He's back up and he heads it away. He was down on the deck, I think, looking for an injury stoppage. Rangers continue to attack. Hatate sweeps it clear on the 18-yard line. And now it's with Raskan chipping it forward, then off the head of Hatate and out for a Rangers throw-in. Really good start to the second half this by the holders as we approach 50 minutes. Celtic though leading 1-0. Carter Vickers has gone down again. He's holding on to his left ankle after the previous block there. It was Morelos and then Sakala both had an opportunity. Morelos initially headed it down. Sakala tried to prod for goal.
Doesn't touch him. Carter Vickers is rolling about, but But Morelos, it's closest to him. I think it would have been called offside anyway. I thought Morelos was just
he's caught him
ahead of the game.
He has caught him, yeah.
Does it, you think?
Yeah, he's got him just as it's a great clearance actually from Carter Vickers. Morelos has just thrown a leg at it and caught him.
Joe Hart was in the right place as well to block the Sakala effort for the Carter Vickers intervention. He's back on, he's okay. And he's back up. As Davis goes long looking for Sakala. Carter Vickers was always going to beat him in the jump. And Johnston challenges Barisic. Both go down, both down injured. Throw-in, I think, only given in Celtic's favour there. But Barisic and Johnston are both poleaxed on the deck here.
That's one where two knees have just caught each other.
Knees, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything in the challenge part. 50-50.
50-50, and we'll just see here the replay.
Yeah, the guys again have the chance to see the second look at that.
Yeah.
This is the 13th time these two have been paired in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. Celtic have won 5, Rangers have won 8. And Rangers have actually won 9 of the last 20 derbies. Celtic have won 8 of them. A lot of those Rangers victories though came during that season when they scuppered Celtic's 10 in a row. The Celtic successes have all come in recent times under Ange Postecoglou, and they are looking to win another treble, having gone a couple of seasons without one. Yeah, 5th treble in 7 seasons, which is remarkable. Rangers still have time to sort that out. Callie Thistle will have something to say about it as well.
Yeah, Alistair Johnson looks as if he's in a lot of pain down there. He's a strong defender too, but he's up trying to walk on that ankle. It was just a clash between the two of them. One was blocking and one was striking the ball, and both of them are in a lot of pain, I've got to say. I think Alistair Johnson looks to be the worst.
And Tony Ralston is on the bench. They do need to make a change. And he's been brilliant, hasn't he, Alistair Johnston, since signing for the club?
I think he's struggling.
Yeah, they're going to have to make the change, and Martin Dowden is down there. He's got a better view of it than I do, Martin.
I do indeed. Alistair Johnson really struggling on that touchline. Indeed, Anthony Ralston at the back of the Celtic dugout, just getting instructions from Gavin Strachan. He will come on as soon as they're breaking play here.
That's a blow for Celtic because he has been outstanding, and in a 1v1 from open play, he's almost come out on top. Kent being brought off because of the display of Alistair Johnson. You've got to see at times.
But hey, they can bring on an international in Anthony Ralston. Hasn't seen as much action this season as he did last. Here's Tavernier for Rangers. Celtic down to 10 temporarily. Tavernier rolling it back to Lundstrom. 53 on the clock with Celtic leading by 1-0. It's Cantwell on the far side. His pass down the line is cut out, and then he slides in on Greg Taylor, and out it goes for a Rangers throw-in off Taylor. The change is going to be made here. And Celtic will be returned to their full complement, albeit Alistair Johnston is being helped up the tunnel, limping very heavily, and on comes the Scotland international Tony Ralston.
Yeah, it's been out a long time, Tony, so it'll be interesting to see if he can settle into this game. Big period for him now.
Too right. Big role to play. He played almost 54. Rangers of the throw-in. Morelos on the stretch, moving it back the way to Goldson. Finds Davis. Kyogo Furuhashi all over him, so Davis decides to go back to his keeper. Kyogo chasing him down. Alan McGregor rolls it short along the deck to Goldson, who looks, turns and sweeps it out to the right. Tavernier flicks on. Sakala's going to give chase here, but Starfelt's alive to it, and he rolls it back to Joe Hart. Celtic leading 1-0. Jota's goal in the closing stages of the first half is the difference right now. Joe Hart takes the touch. Morelos slides in. Hart does enough to get it away though. Just enough time. As Hatate gets it from Taylor on the far side. He wanted too long, but it comes off Arfield and out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Michael Beale will be pleased with the way his team started the second half though.
Yeah, they started the first like that as well, and then it took a little bit of time, but Celtic found the gears. But they have started well in the second half. Obviously the change of shape, slight change of personnel with Kent coming off and Sakala just partnering Morelos up top. Finally they have that threat in behind, but they haven't used it yet to be too direct, Rangers.
Hart playing it short to Carter Vickers. He finds Ralston on this near side under pressure from Raskin. He plays it off the young Belgian, and out it goes for a throw-in on this near side to Celtic. Join us on Friday, by the way. Sports Sound will have all the action from the Championship final fixture round for the second tier, including that title decider between Queen's Park and Dundee, which is also live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. We too, though, on the radio will be across Inverness, Ayr, Arbroath Accies, Raith, Partick Thistle and Cove Morton. Only Raith Rovers really with nothing to play for. Barisic with the throw-in. He bowls it back to Davis into his own half for Goldson, being pressured by Maida, and he turns it out to Tavernier over on that right-hand side. Tavernier can't keep it in play, and out it goes for a throw-in, much to the delight of the Celtic supporters. Celtic leading 1-0. Rangers have had a little nibble at them at the start of the second half, but again, it's not been whilst they've bared their teeth, really. Joe Hart has made that one block from Sakala.
Yeah, the threat from Rangers is always going to be set pieces, but from open play, you're always thinking that Celtic have got so much more in the tank than them. And that was a period there where Rangers had lots of possession and that forced Celtic back into their own defensive turf, but he couldn't really create anything.
Well, approaching that 60-minute mark where Ange Postecoglou normally looks to his bench to freshen it up again, and he'll bring on that threat again, but they'll shuffle the pack. I think Hatate struggled.
Oh, Hatate's found Kyogo, shoots early, and Alan McGregor makes the save down low to his left. Well, that came from nowhere. That was just a little stab forward by Rhea Hatate. He's found Kyogo, who's always alive to these situations. Quick corner is taken by O'Reilly for Jota. He's away from Cantwell with the skill. Dinks it to the back post. Maida heads it back across. Blocked by Tavernier, who boots it away. Anywhere will do for James Tavernier. And it's all the way through to Joe Hart. 57 in, Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Celtic score again. You just cannot see Rangers coming back from that.
Yeah, Kyogo's sharp again, really sharp. I know it was a missed pass probably from Hatate. Here they are again on the attack.
O'Reilly to Maida, level with the 6-yard line. Turns it back out to the left there for Taylor. Taking on Tavernier. Down towards the corner flag. The Rangers skipper Strong, though, wins it back and is fouled by Taylor. And that's a free kick to Rangers over on that far side. Rangers 0, Celtic 1 on 57.5 minutes at Hampden.
Yeah, it was a good save from McGregor, actually low down to his left-hand side. He had to be sharp, but he was nearly caught by surprise also.
Just looking at a replay, maybe doing Hatate a disservice. A good little flick forward towards.
I was stretching though. I think it was almost a miscontrol.
Almost worked out perfectly,
really,
didn't it?
Absolutely.
A save by Alan McGregor. Celtic looking for a second goal, which would put Rangers in an almighty hole, but it's the holders coming forward down the right with Sakala. Level with the Celtic penalty spot. Now he's level with the 6-yard line. Taking on Carter Vickers, back to Cantwell, bends the ball in. It's a poor cross ball. Morelos has gone down in the middle, and not even he is appealing for any kind of foul. 58 minutes in, Rangers 0, Celtic 1, and Neil McCann, who put in many a fine cross in his career. Rangers are going to need a heck of a lot better than that if they're going to emerge from the semi-final today as victors.
Yeah, the quality needs to be much better, but again, the targets need to improve as well. The numbers need to improve to create a better ratio of scoring. But I think Celtic, actually, I said Rangers looking sluggish. Celtic have had a little bit of a lull just now.
Rangers looking to capitalise. Starfelt's header away is only as far as Tavernier crosses in. Sakala gets the head onto it. Might have come off Ralston last, and that made it a comfortable take for Joe Hart. It will be down as an effort on target though. Rangers 0, Celtic 1 on 59.
Yeah, I think Ange might go to his bench pretty soon. He's some of the players warming up just to freshen up a little bit, because they have, as Neil says, gone into a little bit of a lull. Allowing Rangers to take more control of the game.
Yeah, they had to make that change with Alston replacing the injured Johnston, Bain, Haksabanovic, Moy, Turnbull, Kobayashi, Iwata and young Rocco Vata make up the Celtic bench. Rangers have made a couple of changes with Sakala coming on for the second half, Arfield coming on in the first half. They've also got John McLaughlin, the sub-goalie, Yilmaz, Haji, Suter, Matondo, Kamara and Wright. Ben Davis with a header clear into the centre circle for Raskan. No pressure on him here as he turns into the Celtic half, looks at what's ahead of him. Raskan with the right foot turns it infield for Arfield, encouraged to shoot. He does so, Kyogo, and Joe Hart has to get down low to his right to put it behind for the corner. Good effort by Arfield, equal by the save from the veteran former England international. On the hour mark, Rangers 0, Celtic 1, Rangers corner.
Yeah, good strike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he got a great position.
It might have been fine on the inside of that post part, I don't know, but lots of space picked up by Raskin and Scott Arfield. Didn't need much of an invitation to take the shot on.
Tavernier will take. Celtic leading, Rangers attacking. Tavernier, it's a deep one. Goldson tries to get something onto it. Ralston with a really good header away, but it breaks to Lundstrom at the edge of the box. He shoots over the crossbar, but plenty behind it as he tried to arch that shot towards the top left corner, but it goes over the bar and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, just go back to the save again. He was in a very good position, Joe. He's about 4 or 5 yards out and dives nice and square to the path of the ball and gets a really good hand to tip it around the corner. But the Rangers putting a lot of pressure on Celtic in this second half, dominating it, I would say.
Yeah, Michael Beale down there, Neil. He's trying to whip everyone up down there. He's getting his players forward at each and every opportunity. He wants them to press the game.
Yeah, I think he realises that, as I said, Celtic are in that little period where they've flattened off a bit, and I can only imagine that the subs will be made very, very soon just to spark them into life again, because while it's at less, then Rangers are dominating the proceedings, but I mean, not too many attempts at goal, barring that Arfield one. They need to step it up while they're in the ascendancy and enjoying territory advantage. Then they need to really make an impact on this game.
Ange Postecoglou summoning John Kennedy, one of his assistants, to have a chat with him as Rangers come forward. Barisic gets the ball in, but Joe Hart will claim, and then he'll bowl it out to that left-hand side for Greg Taylor. Joe Hart defending the very goal frame. Lee Griffiths whipped 2 free kicks past him, and that Scotland-England draw back in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers as Callum McGregor goes to ground inside the Rangers half. And it's going to be a Celtic free kick, takes the pressure off.
Yeah, it was for the initial foul on Hatate. I think it's good refereeing, to be honest. He lets Colin McGregor go on a little bit to see if there's anything that would come out of it, and he lost possession, so he pulls it back.
There's going to be some Celtic changes. Martin.
Yeah, it looks like Tomoki Iwata is going to enter the play, presumably for Rio Hatate, who's missed a lot of action of late. I'll let you pick up just now, Liam.
Rangers winning it back, and then Celtic pinch it off Morelos. Hatate, early ball, looking for Kyogo, just couldn't get onto it, and it sails behind for the goal kick. Almost 63 in, Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Back pitch side to Martin, who will just wrap that up for us, the subs for Celtic.
Yeah, Tomoki Iwata definitely coming on in the next couple of minutes. Adam Moy as well, looking as though he's preparing to come on, presumably for O'Reilly.
Here's Celtic, Kyogo to the edge of the box, shoots, it's wide. Well, Alan McGregor isn't even going for that. It's a goal kick. If that's on target, it may well have been 2-0 Celtic. It would have been another Kyogo classic. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1. But the Scottish champions now are baring their teeth at the National Stadium, and looking at the replay, that's not far away at all from Kyogo Furuhashi.
I would love to see a replay from behind the goal, because I would say it was about 6 inches by the corner, right up in the postage stamp. Left-hand side, but again the tackle actually from Starfield, stepping into the ball and winning the ball, set Hatate off.
Kyogo's next goal is his 30th of the season. It would have been one way to get it, wouldn't it? And what a way it would have been. Arfield picks up for Rangers, out to the right for Sakala, attacking the Celtic penalty area now, up against Taylor. Sakala pulls it back, Tavernier shoots off the post. Sakala the rebound into the side netting only. The Rangers fans saw the net ripple and thought Sakala had scored on the rebound, but it's gone wide for a goal kick, and Joe Hart has got his right hand post to thank for keeping out James Tavernier. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Deja vu, Liam. I remember when there was another cup final, he had one very, very similar, where he just has to get it on target. I mean, what an effort from Tavernier. I mean, an inch.
He's got to score.
I have no idea how he's missed that. Again, I'm pretty sure he missed one almost identical.
That was a really good strike from Tavernier across the goalkeeper.
Seriously,
wide open goal.
Sakala's played that with his shin, but I'm sure it's his shin past the post from 4 or 5 yards.
There's another change, by the way. 3 changes for Celtic. Haksabanovic is also coming on along with Iwata, and Moy Off is coming Hatate, off is coming O'Reilly, off is coming Jota, the goal scorer. The man who, as it stands, is taking Celtic through to yet another Scottish Cup final. 65 on the clock, Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, just the three players obviously that have been out injured, well, two of them anyway. O'Reilly coming off, also to let Iwata sit alongside McGregor, probably in the middle of the pitch. Change of shape a little bit in there. Haksabanovic, always a threat with his pace.
It's just a warning for Celtic, that one, Packy.
Very much so. Oh, very much so. Rangers have been the better team in the second half. They've controlled the game. They've pressed. Obviously, gone with the two high up, and as I say, probably put Celtic under a lot of pressure.
Celtic playing short from the back. Iwata's first touch is to put it out for a throw in under pressure.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah, for Rangers. Morelos level with 18 takes. Now it's Cantwell to Morelos, who gives it straight to Haksabanovic, but Morelos pinches it back, rolls it to Arfield. First time low ball back to John Lundstrom, and he finds Goldson. First time right foot along the deck, out to Tavernier, who's come as close as anyone for Rangers along with Sakala. As Tavernier drives forward, it's cut out by Starfelt and out for a throw-in off the Rangers man, says the referee, an assistant over on the far side. And it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1 on 66. With Neil McCann, we're heading towards the final quarter of the Scottish Cup semi-final, and Celtic, as it stands, will be going through to face Cali Thistle on the 3rd of June.
Yeah, they need to do something special, Rangers. They have got a grip of this game. They have dominated proceedings in the second half, but I mean, I'm talking about Sakala missing that, and he should score, there's no question of that, but he's had more impact than Morelos has had in the 66 minutes he's been on the field. He needs to step up here for the Rangers fans. He really does. He's walking around the field. Well, he spoken about it at half time. He needs to do something in this game.
And the statistics show it's an even contest. Celtic slightly shading the possession with 51%. 7 shots though for Rangers to Celtic's 5, 3 on target, 4 on target for Celtic. 6 corners to 4 in Rangers' favour as Morelos comes forward, crosses in, flicked on by Arfield. Celtic get it away. Tavernier picking up this time, rolling it back to Lundstrom, plays it infield for Cantwell, back out wide right for Tavernier with the luminous orange boots, swings the deep cross in. Morelos is up there, Ralston attacking it as well though, and he's put it out for a Rangers throw-in level with the Celtic 6-yard line on this near side. 67.5, 1/4 of the semi left. It is Cantwell, angles the ball in, it should be Joe Hart's. It is Joe Hart's under pressure from Arfield, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. See Alistair Johnston taking his seat in the yawning technical area down below us, and he's on crutches apparently as well. Looks in some pain. He tried to put his foot up there. Celtic come forward down the left with Maida, level with the Rangers 6-yard line, under pressure from Tavernier. Maida's got it through his legs, it's Moy, crosses in, diving, headed away by Goldson. Cantwell gets there ahead of from Iwata, who's on for Hatate, and now it's with Morelos. Sliding in Ralston, how strong a challenge was that one? The ref didn't like it. Rangers have a free kick just to the left of the centre circle. This stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, I thought he got the ball actually.
Oh, yeah, there's no question he gets the ball, but I think he sweeps Cantwell from the back just to get to the ball, Pat.
Yeah, he just catches his leg also. And good decision from the referee.
I've seen cleaner challenges than that one actually be punished this season, as Davis is brought down by Furuhashi. It's going to be a Rangers free kick midway inside his own half for Ben Davis, but 10 yards from this near side touchline, almost done 69 minutes. Ben Davis over this. Long ball with the left foot towards the edge of the Celtic box. Carter Vickers beats Morelos to it. It does well to prod it back to Cantwell. Now Morelos again, and Cantwell again, now Morelos again. Morelos does well, rolls it out to Barisic, level with 18, takes a touch, swings the ball in, comes off the head of Raskan. It's going to break to Arfield on the right hand side of the Celtic box. Taylor coming to meet him, pushes it back to John Lundstrom, midway inside Celtic territory. Square ball infield for Goldson, under pressure he was from Maida, back into the centre circle for Ben Davis. Long ball out to Sakala, who controls. Now taking on Ralston, dancing along the 18-yard line, shooting wildly wide, and that's actually gone out for a throw-in over by the corner flag over on the far side. Almost on 70. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Rangers have 20 minutes plus injury time to save their season.
honestly, I wish I could put a remote control, something in his head, Sakala, just to have the ability just to slow him down when he gets into good positions. He creates them so well with his energy and his drive to get at people. He's so much of a rush to do everything at breakneck speed. The final ball so often lets him down.
Tavernier keeps it in play, gets the cross in, headed away by Starfelt. Here's Raskan. Barisic is in space on the near side, slips but regains his composure and finds Sakala. Darts away from Ralston. Square ball for Cantwell. Cantwell's got Barisic wide left, looks up at the Celtic box, takes a touch, crosses in deep. Tavernier heads it down into the ground and over the bar, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, he's got too much on it, hasn't he? You know, he's come in as a free header. He's headed down into the ground, which he kind of want, but he can almost comes off as. Just looking at the replay here, that's a good chance.
What a ball from Barisic.
Very similar to the goal he scored, remember?
Yeah, he knows it's a big chance. He tries too much to bullet it down into the ground.
Ball out of play for a throw-in. Let's go to Willie Miller. There's 19 minutes plus stoppage time left. Celtic with a wafer-thin 1-0 lead. Willie, how are you reading this just now? Rangers running out of time, but they've been the better side since the break.
Oh, without doubt, dominated the game in the second half. I think with Sakala coming up, a bit of company for Morelos has certainly helped. But I think all round, their approach to it, it's like the first 15 minutes of the game where they had that energy. They were closing Celtic down. Celtic really struggling to get any kind of a momentum, any kind of a passing sequences going. So I think Michael Beale has obviously at half-time sorted it out, went with a different shape, asked for that energy to be shown yet again, and so far Rangers have done exactly that.
Rain drifting across Hampden Park as Carter Vickers picks up midway inside his own half. Steps away from Morelos, up into the centre circle he goes, across the halfway line he goes. Right foot pass out to the left for Taylor, down the line for Maida. Maida attacking Tavernier, 18 minutes left. Tavernier stands his ground well there though. He whips it up into the air with the clearance. Misjudged, I thought, there by Starfelt initially. Actually, he's done well to flick it to Carter Vickers. He goes back to the Swede, down the line for Taylor, infield to Callum McGregor. Now it's Aaron Moy. Callum McGregor again, out to Taylor. Taylor down the line for his captain. That's gone out of play, I think. And there'll be a throw into Rangers over on the far side. Rangers 0, Celtic 1, 72.5 minutes left. Well, it's less than 20 minutes left for Rangers. Celtic are so close to that final against Inverness, who will go into that. Billy Dodge, mark my words, they will go into that thinking they can win it. But there won't be too many outside the Highland capital who will feel that they will be beating either of these teams, particularly perhaps Celtic, who are about to retain their crown next weekend, you would feel. And if they don't do it then, it's Ibrox the week after. And we'll get it at some point. There's Sakala down the left-hand side of the box, and then he slices his cross ball behind, and that will be a goal kick to Celtic, and it's all going horribly wrong for Fashion Sakala, the half-time sub in the final third. Couple of changes for Rangers, Martin Dowden.
There are indeed. It will be Reid van Yilmaz, who's hardly featured at all for Rangers, and that also applies to Rabbi Matondo, both about to make their way onto the park. Of course, there's a bit of a technical issue with the numbers to make sure who's coming on off the field for Rangers, but it looks as though Borna Barisic is making his way to the touchline, and Nico Raskan also looks set to be coming off the park.
John Beaton doesn't even have to worry about using the board. He's got his glamorous assistant Willie Collum down there to do all that hard work. John Beaton, who's the fourth official. Willie Collum was meant to be refereeing this game this afternoon. Pulled his calf in the warm-up. Here though, Neil, double change for Rangers. And listen, Reid van Yilmaz and Rabbi Matondo, two of the big summer signings last year, have not made a single impact really on their Rangers careers yet. What a stage this would be to announce their arrival as Rangers players with just over 15 minutes left, trailing Celtic 1-0. And here comes Celtic before Neil can utter a word. It's a one ball for Maida, long lofty ball into the box, sails behind for the goal kick, and it'll stay Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Neil.
On those substitutions, I think Yilmaz is very good at going forward, as is Barisic, but he'll bring a freshness hopefully to the game for Rangers. Matondo's right up there alongside Sakala and Morelos in the front line. They need to be a little bit more direct now with their passing. Get it out your feet, get it wide, and try and turn Celtic just to get themselves behind them and come up with something that will get him back in the game.
Matondo looked all right when he came on against Aberdeen last week. Probably should have scored, actually. As Arfield turns it out to Tavernier. 15 minutes left, 75 on the clock, 1-0 Celtic. Here is Matondo, right-hand side of the Celtic box, looking to get to the byline, low ball across, Hart gets a hand to it on the deck, and Celtic clear.
That is a good save. Really good play from Matondo, getting very direct.
There's a chance for Rangers. Yilmaz in the box, low ball across, comes off Carter Vickers, and behind for a Rangers corner. And it's the roar from the Rangers fans this time as they look to find an equaliser and potentially take this to extra time.
Great
at
impact.
the least.
Great impact from Matondo, just going on the outside and flashing the ball. I tell you, it's a brilliant stop, because not only does he get his hand to it, he pushes it away from Arfield. He could have spilled that there.
It's the two subs who are just on. Both caused problems for the Celtic defence. Tavernier's corner to the back post, headed away by Starfelt. Hart's relieved. He wasn't entirely sure what was happening there as Moy wins it back for Celtic, but it breaks the way of Matondo, who'll go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Celtic try to catch them on the hop. Long ball from Alan McGregor goes all the way through to his opposite number.
These are big moments for Rangers, but they haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net, and they've played well in the second half, I've got to say, but they just lack that, what Celtic have, a player who can just stick it in the back of the net. Good save from Joe Hart, as you rightly say, and he gets it away from the danger area. He could have easily popped that one out into an area for somebody to tap into the net.
Yeah, what they're doing, though, Rangers, they're starting to neglect Callum McGregor. He's starting to pop it about for Celtic.
Here comes Celtic. Haksabanovic into the box. It's Ralston, tries to cut it across off Davis and behind for a Celtic corner. Yeah, as well as Rangers have played in the second half, a second Celtic goal will win this game for sure.
And they're always a threat on the counter, Celtic. They've got those players.
There's Haksabanovic for Ralston, who's won his team the corner. Just takes a bit of pressure off his defenders as well, as Aaron Moy this time stands over the corner. Haksabanovic is there as a short option. 13 minutes left. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. In from Moy, the header comes down, and it's an easy take there for Alan McGregor. I think it's Starfelt who's got his head onto that. It's a comfortable take for the Rangers goalkeeper, and he is looking to release it. A long right football there by McGregor, right down the throat of the pitch, but again it's going to come right through to Joe Hart. Well, this is a pretty seismic last 10 minutes or so here at the National Stadium in the context of the Scottish football season, and in particular in the context of these two club seasons. Celtic win it back. Moy against Tavernier, clips the ball into the box. Goldson tried to take a touch, and Maida nicked it off him and puts it over the bar.
I'll tell you what, again, sharp, really sharp. Maeda, when Goldson took that touch on the ball, he was into him and took it off him, and he was lucky to get a block on it.
It's come off Goldson for the corner for Celtic. You did wonder, Connor Goldson, why is he trying to chest it down inside his own box with Maida snapping around?
Yeah, initially I think over on the other side, out in the wing, it was Tavernier that got caught, wasn't it?
Yeah, he tried to muscle Aaron Moy, and he overcompensated on the nudge. He didn't get it, and Moy won the race.
Corner, Moy straight into the box, it comes, and there's a header from Ben Davis. He's under pressure from Starfelt. Yeah. No corner goal kick.
Yeah, that's a monster chance, because whether Davis does enough here, but Starfelt is actually ball side, and if he just got more of a touch on that glancing header, I think it would have been cuttings for Rangers. But the game will go open now, really end to end.
Yeah, Rangers have to gamble, don't they? They have to gamble probably about now, actually. Trailing 1-0, 79 on the clock. Tavernier down the right hand side from Matondo, couldn't quite help it on its way to Sakala, but it comes off Taylor and out for a Rangers throw-in.
Well, they have gambled, Rangers. They've got put three up front almost, and left the midfield a little bit more open.
Tavernier back to Goldson, low ball forwards, cut out easily by Starfelt. Here's Moy. They will leave gaps now, Rangers. Here's Maida in the centre circle, helping it on its way out to the right hand side for Ralston, up against Cantwell, and he wins the throw in as well, right in front of his manager, who's tended to go with Juranovic and then Johnston at right back this season, ahead of Ralston, with injury problems as well. the Scotland international. Most recently, actually, he was pulled in late to the Scotland squad for that double-header last month. And actually had to come out the squad himself as Jota comes through looking for Maida, overhits the pass, and Alan McGregor holds on. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. We are into the final 10 minutes of the Scottish Cup semi-final, with Celtic 10 minutes plus injury time away from another place in the Scottish Cup final, as Maida has shown a yellow card for a late challenge on Cantwell.
Yeah, he blocked him off. Professional foul, just killing the game off a little bit.
The only game that Rangers haven't scored in domestically this season was that derby mullering they got in the autumn at Celtic Park. Here's Tavernier for Rangers. He's found Arfield, steps away from Taylor. Now Sakala in the box, drags it back the way. He's on the 18-yard line. He shoots. It's blocked, and it will go out for a throw into Rangers on the reverse side, level with the 18-yard line.
What a pass from James Tavernier. He's 1v1 Rabbi Matondo here with Ralston now.
Yilmaz takes it now. Matondo showed too much of it to Ralston, who wins it back for Celtic, and then Maida clips it up towards halfway. Kyogo flicks on. There's nobody in green and white hoops behind him, and he breaks the way of Goldson. He pushes it into the centre circle for John Lundstrom. Back to Goldson. He didn't really want the pass, and he eventually puts it back to his keeper with Kyogo at close quarters.
I tell you, Celtic is looking spent now. Rangers, I think, are feeling it in the game. They're on top here. They look fresher.
Big switch by Goldson. He's done well to find Tavernier wide on the right. Looks up at the Celtic box. Ball in's cleared by the ever dependable Cameron Carter-Vickers. Here's a chance for Celtic on the counter, and they got an opportunity to drive forward with Sead Haksabanovic. Options right and left, and he tried to find Maida. It's just in behind him, and that's going to go eventually, I think, behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, Cantwell will pick up a yellow here probably.
Yeah, he's got a yellow, but what an opportunity for Celtic. Haksabanovic clear, and he picks an unbelievably bad pass. Just roll it to Maeda's feet, because Kyogo made us run across just to take a defender away, but he gets it all wrong.
Another Rangers change, Martin.
Yeah, Yanis Hadji now getting his strip on, about to come on.
Cantwell, you'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it is Cantwell, as far as I can see on the board at the moment.
Well, Yanis Hadji is another who's had so many injury issues over the last year or so. Made several aborted comebacks this season. He's only going to get a few minutes really to affect this semi. Celtic getting ever closer as Alan McGregor can only find touch from the long ball, and out for a Celtic throw-in just inside their own half on the near side. And that change will be made now. Yanis Hadji, it's actually Morelos he's going to replace. So as Alfredo Morelos played at Hampden Park for the last time, unless Rangers can somehow force extra time, he feel he has done. Better in the second half for sure, but still not enough, as his place goes to Hadji, and Sakala will go through the middle. Ralston with the throw-in. Celtic are going to make a change in a moment. We'll go back to Martin shortly. It's Connor Goldson's long ball. Matondo will give chase. Ralston's out of position. Carter-Vickers comes out to meet Matondo on this near side. Drops the shoulder. Matondo into the box. Rolls it back the way. Arfield sweeps the effort at goal over the bar. He's holding his head in his hands. A huge chance. 18 yards out. The man who levelled last season's semi-final off target, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1 on 83.5 minutes as Celtic make another change, Martin.
Yeah, you can hear the reception. It is starman Kyogo. He won't get a fourth consecutive goal against Rangers, but what work rate again from him. It will be coming on to replace him.
He scored many winners for Celtic. He scored lots of goals, 29 this season. He was 20 in an injury hit season last term. But actually, when you look at the campaign as a whole, Neil, that goal that Kyogo scored at Ibrox late on in January the 2nd was massive.
Yeah, enormous goal, killer again, but it's just typical of the little man. Never gives up running. He's run himself into the ground today. I know he's not really featured in terms of a goal threat, but he's worked tirelessly up top for Celtic, always providing a threat in behind.
84 played now. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Here's Connor Goldson striding up towards the halfway line. Tavernier out down the touchline. It goes for Sakala. Facing Aaron Moy, he passes it back to the halfway line for Goldson, who finds Davis. That one switch off from Rangers towards the end of the first half, as it stands, is going to see them out of this cup, and their grip on the trophy will loosen completely. Rangers with the cross balls, headed away by Callum McGregor. Moy goes out to get onto the possession on the far side. He wins the throw-in as well, and that'll do very nicely for Celtic. Rangers 0, Celtic 1, and we're about to go into the final 5 minutes of the 90.
That was a tire cross from Hadji. I know he's just on, and sometimes people think you're going to be fresh, but you have to get your second wind. It was a real sluggish type of ball into the box from a player that's got so much talent. Missed so much of the season, of course, due to that cruciate injury.
It's asking so much to get him onto the pitch and asking him to rescue the situation, isn't it?
It is. You know, he's got 5 minutes to make that impact to get this game to extra time.
Yeah, Celtic have been very poor in the second half, I've got to say. They haven't been able to get any control in the game, and they look tired.
And yet, it might be enough.
It might be.
Here's Cantwell for Rangers across halfway. He's away from a couple of challenges. And then Matondo flicks it back towards him. Down goes Cantwell, fouled by Ralston. Free kick Rangers, which they've taken quickly. Matondo for Sakala. Sakala then against Carter Vickers. He's trying to tie him in knots, and in the end he's brought down the Celtic defender. And that is a free kick. He's had a pretty infamous second half since coming on at the break. Facet Sakala, he missed that. Just about an open goal. I know it's a tight angle, but it's a glorious chance to level proceedings earlier after Tavernier hit the post.
No, he's got to put it in the back of the net. He'll look back on it when that game's over and he'll say, wow, I could have, and the way the Rangers were playing, if they got that goal and if they could still get a goal, I think they've got the momentum. But here's a chance.
Yeah, long ball, Hyun-Gyu chasing it, but Alan McGregor gets there first at the expense of putting it out for a Celtic throw-in. On the near side, 86 and a half now played. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. And the champions get ever closer to that Scottish Cup final. Here they will take on Inverness Cali Thistle. Here's O taking it down at the corner flag, sweeps it infield, drops to Maida. There are a couple of touches of Rangers players. Dyson Maida driving forward, keeps it in play and wins his team the throw-in as well. Utterly tireless, Dyson Maida.
Yeah,
I mean, you're shattered watching him.
I mean, I would love to see his stats. He must run 12, 13k a game, every game he plays, if he does the duration of the match.
Well, Hyun-Gyu takes it down from the throw in the box, little back heel which pops out to Lundstrom. And now it's with Hadji, who's brought to the ground by Callum McGregor. He's going to be yellow carded, he himself, the Celtic captain. I don't think he'll be too bothered about that, though.
Not in the slightest. In professional foul there. He's stopping the game, getting his team back behind the ball.
And Celtic do get to the final. It's looking increasingly likely. They haven't lost one since Rangers beat them in 2002. A game Neil will remember well, as Alan McGregor hits it long, but Rangers' hopes of repeating those heroics are evaporating in front of us here at Hampden.
They scored a late one that day in that final. Rangers need another one of those.
Arfield winning it back down that far side. He's kept it in play for his captain. Tavernier infield to Goldson as we tick on to 88 minutes here. No one's leaving early, I don't think, right now. Rangers have it with Cantwell forward looking for Hadji, and Callum McGregor with an important block. But there's a collector's item as he gives it away. Ridvan Yilmaz out to Matondo on the near side. Matondo moves infield. Rangers will feel their second half performance deserves a crack at extra time. Celtic looking to just see it out. It's Tavernier on the right hand side, gets the cross in, missed by Ralston, picked up by Ridvan Yilmaz, left hand side of the box, and it comes, flicked away this time. Starfelt really well defended by Celtic, as it's cleared out for a Rangers throw in on the far side.
I've got to say the two centre halves for Celtic have been really good when they've been under pressure in those round that 6-yard box. They've got their head on it, they've got their foot on it. The one that Carter Vickers cleared off the line, really good.
I agree, Pat, and Starfelt's feeling the heat here on he's getting a bit of cramp. But I have to say, when I'm looking at, if I'm Yilmaz and I'm looking at my teammates, I get that out my feet and I smash that low, because look at the size of the defenders in there up against your attackers of Sakala, Matondo, Hadji.
Throw-ins taken. Arfield, but in the 90th minute, Celtic leading 1-0. I've got a sneak peek at the board. I think 4 minutes are going to be added as Yilmaz shoots over the bar from distance. And it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1, and we are approaching the end of the 90. That goal from Jota late in the first half has Celtic so close. Remember, they had 4 successive clean sweeps not so long ago. 2 seasons without a treble, albeit there was a double last season. They lost to Rangers in the Scottish Cup semis last term. but they are so close to dishing out some serious revenge here, because make no mistake, Rangers' season ends in a few minutes, perhaps not in games played, and the chance of getting any silverware out of it, that is just about finished for them. As that ball from Iwata goes out for a Rangers throw-in on the near side. It's 5 minutes that have been added, presumably the extra minute just for that treatment for cramp that Carl Starfelt got just a moment ago. It's back with Alan McGregor, shifts it forward to Tavernier. So we're in the first of 5 minutes of injury time, right at the end here on Sportsound, the closing stages of the second semi. Long ball towards Matondo. Carter Vickers blocks in the 18. Of course he does. He and Starfelt have been rock solid today as Aaron Moy takes it for a walk out to this near side. The ball played infield, and it's Iwata stabbing it back to Moy. Back to Tomoki Iwata, level with the Rangers 18. The challenge from Arfield's gone out for a throw into Celtic on the near side. And Celtic have almost negotiated the first of the 5 minutes of injury time with their lead still intact, and they are now 4 minutes away from the Scottish Cup final.
This is the type of situation where it just demoralises you if you're the team that's chasing the ball, and it just keeps going out for throw-ins down in the corner flag.
Yeah, Celtic just have got to manage it out now. Don't give the ball away, keep it in the corner, trying to get a free kick or some throw-in, which they've done successfully again.
Throw-in to be taken by Ralston, level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. They're playing the game exactly where they want to be playing it right now. Or Celtic. It's towards Oh Hyun-gyu. It's blocked, though, cleared Ben Davis, and then Cantwell completes the clearance. It's off Carter Vickers up into the air on the near side, headed forward by Ralston, chasing it down. There was and it was out of play for a Rangers throw-in to be taken by Yilmaz. Cantwell passing it back straight to Oh Hyun-gyu. Flags up anyway. Rangers take a quick free kick. It's getting to now or never time for the holders. There's James Tavernier on the far side. Under pressure though from Haksabanovic. He stands up well to him. Passes it back to Goldson. We played 2 now of the 5 minutes. Long ball towards Matondo, and Hart holds on comfortably in the end, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 1. And I think it's Anthony Ralston who's gone down inside his own box.
One, you know. That didn't look a very nice way it fell over. I'm hoping it's maybe just caught a flailing arm or something, but I hope it's not his knee.
He's had his injury problems this season, hasn't he?
Oh, that didn't look nice at all, you know.
Well, Joe Hart's helped him back to his feet. He's going to be okay.
He's okay.
Half of the injury time's come and gone. Rangers have 2.5 minutes left to save their season. Less than that now. They'll have 5 Premiership games to play. And if they can't find an equaliser in the next couple of minutes, all Michael Beale wants is the summer. It's Joe Hart with the long ball forward for Celtic. Underneath it's Ben Davis. Aaron Moy with a header out to this near side. It's gone out for a Rangers throw-in. 2 minutes left. 2 of the allotted 5 left. Celtic 1 up. And it's Rıdvan Yılmaz. The Celtic fans sense victory. And it is close now. Ange Postecoglou down there with his hands in his pockets.
You've got to say Rangers probably in the second half did as much as they could to get us back, but it's not good enough. It doesn't look as if it's going to be good enough. With a couple of minutes left. Free kick to Rangers.
Got to get everybody up now. Last chance saloon.
Celtic have only lost 3 of the last 54 domestic cup ties. It's about to be 3 out of 55. Unless Rangers have some late heroics. It doesn't look likely, it has to be said. Celtic have it back with Iwata onto the touchline for Moy. Gets it down the line for Iwata. Clips it in field under pressure from Lundstrom and Goldson. Rangers win it back. Lundstrom high into the midfield, taken down well by Hadji. We're into the final minute of 5 that were added on. Rangers 0, Celtic 1, and the ball out towards Sakala goes out for a throw-in, and Celtic are so close. And it's a dream situation for them, Packy. They will have a shot at lower league opposition to win an 8th treble in the club's history.
Yeah, well, the Celtic fans have found their voice, but it's right at the last minute because they know this was a nervy one in the second half. The Rangers had the best chance to pull something back, so they're enjoying it at the moment because they know that Rangers this would be an incredible finish if they could get something, which I doubt if they are.
Just about 15 seconds left, and Celtic emerge with it with Haksabanovic on the far side.
He doesn't need to
Surely
go
to
anywhere.
take it to the corner.
Absolutely.
Instead, he looks up at the box. Low ball in. It's now Maidau takes it down with his back to goal, dancing around, plays it back to Iwata, shot scuffed but held. I make that time up. So does the referee, and Celtic win. Celtic win. A huge derby victory for Ange Postecoglou, who celebrates down below us, clenched fists, having shaken his opposite number's hand. Jota's goal, scored just before half-time, is what settles this almighty derby in Celtic's favour as they knock the holders and their bitter rivals out of the tournament in the semi-finals. And now they're going to have an opportunity to take on Inverness Cali Thistle of the second tier to win a historic treble. Rangers and Celtic have won 7 trebles. Celtic will have the chance to stand alone on the top of Scottish football when they return here on June the 3rd to take on Inverness Caledonian Thistle in what will be their 59th Scottish Cup final. And more often than not, they emerge victorious. They will be almighty, overwhelming favourites. They had to ride the storm in the second half. Both Tavernier and Sakala came closest to levelling this and possibly taking it to extra time. But Rangers' grip in the Scottish Cup has been loosened completely. Their season effectively over. This time next week, Celtic can clinch yet another title. That's coming sooner rather than later. And they will be massive favourites to make it a clean sweep. And I know it still rankles with Ange Postecoglou that they didn't do it last season. It was Rangers who prevented them from doing it last season. Well, they've dished out some serious revenge here on Glasgow's south side. It finished Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
The Scottish Cup. Rangers versus Celtic.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.